They say APC gets 833,519 votes in the 75% plus 249,000 equals 1,082,519, right? And that they say we make APC. Okay, SLPP they say 848,438 plus 209,000. That's the equals 1,097,438. And now you see the O2 get 249,000 equally. Why should that be? Hello, my family Munakabo. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network, the place Wusa would bring Sierra Leone live to Wusa ever you day around the globe. Of course, today is a big day in the history of Sierra Leone, West Africa. Today is the runoff elections in the country. Of course, they don't push and say, will be no say, no matter how they push and we'll go reach this day. And so today, Sierra Leoneans went to the polls to participate in the runoff elections, of course, to elect the president of the country for the next 5 years. And so today, a big day in Sierra Leone. We'll see plenty saloon people and go na the polling stations and vote. And of course, the polling stations, they don't close now. The counting, they go on. We don't begin get numbers, then they come in. Of course, we get for follow up on the numbers, then we get for see what's in the happen. Right now, plenty figures, then they come in. And so until we hear from the official body, we are responsible for announcing election results. We are the National Electoral Commission, as being protected by the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, as well as the Public Elections Act of the country. There is nothing we can say. And so today we get for talk to plenty people there, of course, as this now a national day. One of the people that we'll get for talk to now, a very staunch APC member, living in North America. Of course, we hold key positions in government in Sierra Leone as well. And we're in constant contact with the APC hierarchy in the country. And so we get for talk to her exclusively on waiting in your take on this election and plenty other things that we don't go on inside the party. We'll go talk to her simultaneously on that. We'll go also bring you a live feed from Sheriff's SBN platform, media platform. Of course, this now the WhatsApp group where this broadcast network gets on WhatsApp, waiting the happen day. I mean, we get a lot of information within the feed inside it from Sierra Leone, and so we'll get for bring that as well. But at any rate, Sierra Leoneans will for pat yourself on the back for reaching this milestone. Of course, I missed a lot of things that would happen at the country. Sierra Leoneans were resilient. They still go to the polls and try to get things done. And so we said get for also give we on special message where we don't give them this here so to all the electorates, Sierra Leoneans in the country, for me they know which are their rights, which are their responsibilities, and waiting their roles as citizens of the country. So now then thing they will get for do today na Sheriff's Broadcast Network. So we they ask that you continue for stick with we as we continue for bring the programs live to you. Of course, me na Ibrahim Sheriff I come to now live from studio number 8 based in Houston, Texas in the United States. Stick around with us.
Waiting the council. Yeah, man. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body I hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body I hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold 'em, sister. Olam, gagak, olam, yak, olam, brother. No lefa, olam, olam some side, olam some side, olam some side, olam day. I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, good, commodity, good, commodity, good, you don't WhatsApp me, I don't WhatsApp you. Airtel, I don't contact you. Talk na phone, take 2:30. Don't first in the morning, I text back you. You not see me, I not see you. Pass picture, well today you don't see me. So hold me tight, make I hold you tight. You go do chagadan head, shoot on side. Hold somebody, make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you hold judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold and sister. No lefa, hold brother. No lefa, hold some side. Hold on some side. Hold on some side. Hold on day. Hold on some side. Hold on some side. Hold on some side. Hold on day. I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, good, commodity, feel free, make we help we self. I beg no tight game, make we show we self. Yam speak, they irrespect nef. I go auction me love than you expect self. Hold me, I hold you like husband and wife. As you taste me so, pass die make we left. As I be angle like chinch, nyak. If you slack and small at the pinch, nyagak mar. Eyak man, left. Hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold and sister. No lefa, olam, brother. No lefa, olam some side, olam some side. Hold on some side. Hold on day.
For the love of sound.
Waiting the council. Yeah, man. Hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold and sister. No lefa, olam, brother. No lefa, olam some side. Olam some side. Hold on some side. Hold on day. I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, good, commodity, good, you don't WhatsApp me, I don't WhatsApp you. Airtel, I don't contact you. Talk na phone, take 2:30. Don't first in the morning, I text back you. You not see me, I not see you. Pass picture, well today you don't see me. So hold me tight, make I hold you tight. You go do chagadan head, shoot on side. Hold somebody, make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold somebody. Make you hold somebody. I beg you, make you judge somebody. Body ya hold somebody. Tell them say you like hold and sister. No lefa, olam, brother. No lefa, olam some side. Olam some side. Olam some side. Olam day. Hold on some side. Hold on some side. Hold on some side. Hold on there. I tell yourself, Sammy them mind do. If you am go fast, go it, come on it, come on it, go it, come on it, come on it, come on it, come on it, go it, come on it. Feel free, make we help we self. I beg no tight game, make we show we self. Yam speak to a respect nef. I go auction me love than you expect self. Hold me, I hold you like husband and wife. As you taste me so fast, I make we left. As I be angle like chinch, nyak. If you slack and small at the pinch, nyagak mar. Eyak man, left. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, I be go do ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, that's not Akman. Of course, when I don't say Akman, a man way a very senior when it comes to Sierra Leonean musical artists. Them, of course, they do very well. That na Holland Day, that na the new track we just do the video na Maryland and as na United States. Of course, now that's the gone. So today na big day na Sierra Leone. Of course, like how we all know, right now on the Skype screen, I mean the WhatsApp screen, like how you see. This now some of the numbers then where they come in as when they do the broadcast. Of course, this now some of the votes then where they count in different polling stations across the country. And then they can come in, and so we will continue for see that. But right now, the way the numbers then they come in, we're not go able to rely too much on them, even though to every rumor there is an element of truth. We're not able to rely on them too much because of everything where they go on. But this is not some of the numbers that where they come in right now as when they do this broadcast today. Of course, when I know say the polling stations, they're all done closed in the country, and now the counting continues. So we don't know exactly when we will get the final results. Of course, the body way protected by the constitution of the country, when the 1991 constitution, and of course the Public Elections Act, now that the National Electoral Commission and then get the authority for announce the official result of this election today, this runoff election. So whilst would they wait for that to happen, of course, would they get numbers then when they come in, would they see and continuously they roll in at this point. And so we'll get for the take a look at the numbers then they as would they go ahead with this program tonight. And so we get for ask that you continue for stick around with we as we continue for bring the programs to you. Right now, my family then we get for get just the car we don't tell one today. We get a special guest today. We get for me and to get for the hangouts now. So from Fallcroft in Pennsylvania, that now the outskirts of Philadelphia, now they base, and of course this not to other person now Mr. Samuel Toure. Let me see if I can bring his biography up so that we'll go all properly introduce with brother, right? Okay, so Mr. Samuel Toure, let me see guys, we don't begin old now, we'll go for the we wear glasses. Samuel Delito Toure, now residents of Fallcroft in Pennsylvania. He gets masters in Masters of Education from Jala University College, Sierra Leone, University of the Sciences. We're actually from the Jala University and then University of the Sciences in Philadelphia. Then a former policy analyst in the Strategy and Policy Unit, Office of the President, Sierra Leone. So now big man this. Public health consultant, na IBTC, of course, IBTCI to Sierra Leone, and then Ebola response and recovery evaluation coordinator as well, right? Let me see if I have all of that. Coordinator, we are going to read all of this. So when I give me a second, make I able to pull all of that. And then member of the APC party, former chapter president, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Southern Jersey, and former assistant branch secretary of the APC, United States of America. Now, Maui married and he got 4 Pekin, So now the man this way we get for talk to today exclusively now Sheriff's Broadcast Network. And of course, me family them not to other person. Now the man where would they look at right now? Hello, Mr. Toure. How you dey do, sir?
Thank God, Mr. Sheriff, for the do well.
That's good. That's good. Of course, we're glad for getting Ayaso as an APC person, on this very important day in the history of Sierra Leone. Of course, with all the positions that you hold in the APC, we know say you expect a lot of things to happen today with regards to this runoff elections. So, Mr. Sise, what you go tell we about the stance of APC as a political party with regards to this election? Which confidence will I get as a political party?
Yeah, we get confidence we go win this election because we don't do a very good job. The people know that, and they're ready for vote for it. We sure they will win at the end of the day.
Okay, so at the end of the day, APC get that confidence, say, then they win them. But this being term, I don't know what to make people that they complain say, like His Excellency the President don't serve for 10 years. People then say, if I tell God thank you that he don't able to serve the people of Sierra Leone for these 10 years. So what to make, they pull on party politics now? Would they see everywhere now they campaign for, Dr. Samura Kamara and all of them. So people that they talk about that a lot. What do you think?
The man about the party, and the party leader and the incumbent will try to go out. And don't forget, we all in America now, we see how Obama in where Bill Clinton and others, they increase crowds in America for coming for the incumbent. So they get the full right to run any party.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah, of course, we not deny that. Of course, the president get the right for doing. But some man they talk say they overcloud the presidential candidate. Where they say the presidential candidate supposed to be a man of his own. But it look like saying that the president now they do everything for him. So when he becomes president, now the president by extension, now in the president again. What do you think?
Mr. Sheriff, you need to know one thing for say when it comes to election and governance are two different things. Winning are one thing, governance is another thing. And for the sake of winning, anything we take, as long as it is within the framework of the law, whether you win elections, you get right to use that.
Right.
You know the way, and I wanted the way. So if you sit down one time, you lost and don't lose for 5 years.
Right.
Okay. So you get the full right for coming inside. If in your presence to make APC get the victory, we welcome and appreciate and so much. At the end of the day, one for win and continue for do the good work we need to do. And when it comes to Sumana will become a for them and so on, our people does it. Our people does it talk. And before the news story, Ibrahim Sheriff, they can very clearly, when they talk to the president, tell them after the election, no win. Chairman, interested. Because once we don't win, he's been back and he will allow Samura for himself and running government around the country.
Okay, well that's good. Now when people are curious no more, so now that make we they decide for ask then question and they because a lot of curiosity on the part of the citizens of the country, things like that they happen. So now that the voting don't take place today, finally, but before we get to this point, a lot of legalities, a lot of things that happen and make the people then jittery in the country. So people then get this talk here where they can talk say anytime where APC then a power for the fact that they're not there on record for ever organize a democratic elections and somebody else we're not to APC member and then peacefully hand over to that person without boast, without intimidation, without all of them here. And we don't see some of them here they happen. What do you go say about that?
Well, the response first, and just like what you say, not in the records. We not sit on the right time. Now people jump the talk say, not so it can happen. Right? And now people have opinion, they get right to them. We not really mean say they correct and they get right. This election, APC believe in democracy. We come by power through the ballot, and we still through the ballot. And if we go for left, we for left through the ballot. That is the democratic means they establish. And all those things we do after for make sure say we get a fair platform. At the end of the day, If they announce it, it's not win, we're not going to win. If they announce it, APC win, we win. But what thing APC does ensure is that whosoever they win, let the people of Sierra Leone get the understanding and the conviction, yes, indeed, this person win. And we as a government with the power, we get the moral responsibility for make sure say we protect and we guide the process. Because whatever mistake will happen, whether that mistake will make we win, or a mistake will make us to win, people at the end of the day go bring a kind of APC that will say are responsible. So knowing that we get this kind of responsibility, make the party go all ways and means, use whatever the legally accepted means them for make sure the right thing be done for this election.
Right. And so, you know, people that can get this concern here say, you know, like where the democracy will get in the country, a very fragile, a very unstable, you know, people like late Alhaji Ahmad Tijan Kaba, after we SLPP don't in power for, you know, for 11 years, they see the need for making able for transfer power to the other main opposition at the country so that we go continue for uphold the values of democracy in the country. So APC get any concern that if they win this election, it's possible for say they go down in power now for 15 or 20 years and that then they sideline the other political party and that the country they slowly slide into a one-party state again. APC get that kind of concern?
The concern where APC gets good governance and development of the country. We think will promote development, peace and security. And just like what you say, Pakaba will get the responsibility for doing because APC will win the election. And once APC win the election, and in being somebody who respect the rule of law, it doesn't get no other option. We know as a very peaceful man, so we just move ahead.
But the opposition leader by then, Mr. Toure, the opposition leader by then, will not be the presidential candidate, Mr. Solomon Berawa of SLPP, be one for Cargo, the National Electoral Commission, to court. But now the president say in the name of peace, in the name of upholding democracy, let we allow the APC for coming to power. You know,
and because I'm convinced the right thing ain't happen. Okay, the people that vote and represent, and don't forget about it. For say, it not means because for whatever, let's say for the sake of argument, okay, that argument say very well win, but Akaba hold that. Not a policy statement for say any other person cannot say for you. Probably na decision.
Exactly, I understand that.
I mean, say because after 10 years next Africa, instead of
no, okay, yeah, we understand definitely. So that's the difference between the SLPP and the APC, you know. Whereas
no, that's not the difference. SLPP, as far as we concerned for the election day, okay, NEC announced an Escoma win the election. Whatever technicalities we very about to pick up with, Pakabasi and say, you know what it. And Escoma win. And don't forget, Pakabana is a white man, and I legally manage somebody. He knows the law. He knows the law. Pakaba, not the kind of president who gets to say, and because he president make the wrong guy. So we all know that academically by himself, he's right up there. He reasons very well. So I'm sure say if you don't look at everything, all what he gets, don't forget as the president, you get a lot of information you get so much. So you don't process them, and you don't look at them, getting advice and say, you know what, this thing not worth taking it up. Because of peace, because of democracy and so on. Law will left so. And I think that based on that, he may act on. Right party.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the right representing party for voting the people of Sierra Leone want versus voting the party want. And at the same thing, if another person come out as a winner, and let's not get no other option.
Right.
You go hand a moment. You know, no other option. But if I make sure see the right thing happen. So you get the responsibility. The right thing for happen, and when the right thing happens, people inside will do the right thing.
So Mr. Toure, you know this being term, yeah, this being term, you know, where they don't announce that we're going to go to a runoff election. Suddenly now we see people that they disseminate this message about tribalism in the country, where it be say now a very new concept as far as Sierra Leoneans are concerned, because tribalism not to one thing and the way Sierra Leoneans they are accustomed to at all. Just like how with religious tolerance, now so the absence of tribalism, now we not ever get tribalism as a problem in our country. But then we see an APC member, it's now before a very large crowd of APC supporters in the Northern Province, a whole microphone, APC supporters and sit on the high table, then they listen to them, and they talk say, if then find out say anybody then at that turn will vote for SLPP, then they look for that person and that person not go sleep na that turn that day. What do you think about that kind of talk? Because plenty of people that talk say, now tribalism, regionalism, and then kind of thing they're not supposed to happen as Sierra Leone. What do you think?
There is no way I support any aspect will promote tribalism. Then the outcome of that are very clear. And I believe say the APC party now an all-inclusive party will not get no room, not get no space for tribalism. No space for tribalism. Will they accept everybody when they come on board, as long as you buy into the ideology of APC, you're ready for work for develop the country, APC accepts it. So like what they talk so about people preaching tribalism, I don't believe saying that tribalism per se they will preach. Like the way you put it, say, if anybody there enough votes for APC, okay, we go find out what and so on.
You don't believe that, Mr. Toure? Because I get the video, I go show just now, the video day.
Hold on.
Right.
Hold on. If I get one thing completely clearly, the person not talk say anybody inside this village. Now take example, me and Lima. Alright. I dey in the Lima community. Then Mr. X-ray contest, not Timini. If me can enter and talk say if anybody inside this Lima village vote for Timini man, we go do on this. It was anybody here vote for SLPP. And that's the party. And SLPP not only belong at the north and the south. It not belong only to Mende. It belongs to Timini, it belongs to Limba, it belongs to Gizi, it belongs to Kono, you name it. So it was not like somebody say, no vote for Mende man. No. Now we paraphrase them. And now when they paraphrase, they become dangerous because when we begin for call specific tribe then, they become an issue. The country is a small country. Me West also. I get me in-laws then. In the east, Kenema, Petema, I get in-laws then there. Me picking me cousin and they from that village day, from that community day. Okay? I get people like Leone. When they're married and not established it. I've been established recently, I spend months in Leone. So there is no way me will go begin talk say, go after this ethnic group. Because by the time you start, let's say for the sake of argument, go after Mendiman. You know they go far, it hurts me because I have a blood relationship with them. Likewise, the other tribe them. There is no pure tribe and Asalo. We all just don't mix, which is very good for us. So if you go back putting in reference, okay, no matter how we take them, the person not be say, I stand to be corrected. And not be say no vote for Mendeman. He say no vote for SLPP.
No, I don't say no vote for Mendeman. I say anybody where they see Nadaton according to him. Matter of fact, I have the video here. He say anybody will vote for an SLPP, we vote for SLPP, then they fend and not go sleep na that on that day. So this is democracy where people should have the freedom to choose a political party of their choice to vote for. So if somebody like that, they were a leader in the APC, they talk that one day, that is regionalism, that is dictatorship. Is that not true?
Now turn them around. Probably if you begin to say regionalism, I agree. But that word we use tribal, then they can so dark that the government can solve that.
When are the motive we been get for talk because
not the motive, as I may say, SLPP get all tribes unless if you are for categorically tell me say SLPP and then the way you know we talk to. Okay, but as long as you say SLPP, the national party, the national flavor, then when somebody measure SLPP, what one try?
Wait till they talk. So it in contradiction. It in contradiction with certain Cornelius Devolve with the talk even as yesterday on AYTV, because he don't classify SLPP as being tribalistic. It's in fact even the first prime minister not be supposed to be Samiti Magai, be supposed to be Kaifa Smart. It's saying the way people then vote for this election, then divide the country. You know that SLPP then vote on tribal lines. So now that make way with the ask them question there, because tribalism has never been part of us.
And it will not be, and it will never be part of us.
Right.
That's the kind of thing. If you look at the vote, the result of the come now, we not confirmed yet. But even in Karina district, some people say now they be running the flag bearer for APC come out, which is predominantly a Timide and a Limba community.
Right.
You see both the community for SLPP. Are they men that are voting for them? No. That's not them believe. They believe say that the party that wait for them will go in their ones.
Well, actually, APC people then at the Northern Province back. Yeah, go ahead.
They are still getting voting can help for APC. So now we think and say, take the Tribalism out.
Okay, well, I'm happy that it's coming from an APC person now. Yes.
We not get room for tribalism.
Right. Okay. Well, so moving forward, Mr. Toure, what do you think about the numbers now when they come in now? I mean, I know say you don't talk, say you get the confidence for say APC get for win this election. When they see the numbers then when they come in, and SLPP people then they will be done they talk to, then self get that confidence. And we not saying that all parties then get confidence. But you know, waiting at actually your honest level of confidence as far as this runoff is concerned. I mean, would they talk true? Not true, would they talk now?
Of course, not true they talk. As I say in the beginning, as far as me know, the information and everything we get, I'm very, very confident that this election, APC the winner, or APC don't win this election. It's just a matter of time. We're just waiting for when next coming because I get the mandate. Okay.
Well, the way you talk, so you go make your opponents and go afraid small because we're not the incumbent political party. So the kind of certainty way you don't talk with, it's like the election result has been decided. It's just a matter of protocols right now.
Mr. Sheriff, if you are in politics and you're ready for going into the ring, you don't get confidence, don't go inside there.
Okay.
I studied physical health education at Ghana, and when you do sports sociology or psychology of sports, one thing they tell you if always get that confidence, whether they think you're an underdog or what. So once you lack confidence, don't bother for whether you waste it.
Well, the confidence can be that you go use the powers that you have to put pressure on whatever. You know, I mean, this is Sierra Leone now. We are talking about a country where outside corruption don't eat into the fabric of the country.
There is no evidence. One thing we're very good, we all the 10 people. Besides the one that we the thing for the worst, is that with all the social media thing that we don't pass around, we not really get any case yet of organized violence throughout the election. I think we all got it for that day for say. The election don't pass, we not really of any life we don't go. We know how election have been previous years or other countries. So that don't really show we say we don't move forward, and this one is a very good election. And even if people in against it all, and people just really insinuate. I'm just a propaganda. People will be involved. Yeah, people that are wolf will push not even there. There's no dog around, they are shouting wolf.
But Mr. Toure, we don't see people then where they wound, you know, where people then they stab people them, you know, some of them rallies they happen all sides. But we don't see that. So violence, even though it not go to that climax, but it don't happen during this electioneering process, you know.
I regret for whatever. Okay, somebody suffer.
Hello, Mr. Toure, you done? Okay, it look like say we don't lost Mr. Toure for a minute. I go try for join we guest now so today. Of course, now a very okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay?
Yes.
Wait, America, we see them. Then they grab people and push. That is violence. No matter how you define them, it falls under violence. So if you happen here, what about that? When they say we copy bad things, say we need to give yourself kudos for the election, because when we look at what in social media, we don't preempt. We often believe say tell like now, we're not for even independence, we engage on phone calls for check on the family and so on.
And so, waiting back, you think about the fact where people that you talk say the president at this point they in violation of the constitution of the country, because by now he is not supposed to be the president of the country. You know, from the 27th March, where the court began for declare say the elections for go ahead, the runoff elections for go ahead, where this past Saturday night in term of office officially expire, but he's still in at the office. You know, so people if you say that's not a violation of the constitution of the country. What do you say to that?
They're wrong.
How?
Okay. The president, they deal with the law and they don't create the let's say for the sake of argument, come to tell the way they say, okay, they come out. Put that with it. That's one thing.
Well, there should be there are constitutional arrangements for that.
I mean, as I said about argument's sake, besides, NEC not announce anybody before that date. Okay, we still there within the electionary period, and not forget. I don't refer the last time say.
No, Mr. Toure, okay.
Because during Pakaba, an SLPP president with an SLPP majority cabinet. That they will make the amendment the way allow. Within the law, as long as the electoral process goes on and so on, don't forget, as a 4-month period. As a 4-month period, it was an SLPP government, a majority in the parliament and in the house, that they will make that thing.
For say a 4-month period for what? For handover?
4 months thing.
You say 4-month periods for what?
They get a space as long as they don't begin the electionary process. We get complete that, but not complete for that. And the 27th and the 1st, I just for this. And not an instant go to that. Now the court.
No, but Mr. Toure, according to the constitution of the country, the parliament is dissolved. Because if the parliament not be dissolved, the speaker of the house now for don't automatically be the caretaker president by now. But because the parliament dissolved, so the chief justice of the Supreme Court now for be the caretaker president until we get elections. But this president not supposed for their power rights now. In time of office done since this past Saturday. That's what we are saying.
We still there at the electionary process. But the court in push up.
The court push until Saturday, this past Saturday. Now it talks because of logistics, then one for the election take place today. But the court we don't decide say na Saturday for happen.
Not the court say Saturday, then announce the next day and talk say no, it will be so no. And the next year, I'm going to say we get this 4 months period, 4 months period. If we next year say they cannot conduct it probably until next week, we're not in no other option. We don't initiate the process. Don't forget, we don't initiate the process. It's not like the 27th camp. There is nothing about the election going on. Everything, no. The process has been initiated. We are on it. It's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Well, you know, I don't say, Mr. Toure, me and you two not go agree on this because, well, you know.
We don't agree because they look at it the wrong way.
No, I am not, because my thing here is the National Electoral Commission, we don't already set a timetable for this electioneering process. And then a member of APC came and interrupted the whole thing by going and filing for injunction. Now,
no.
If they
want the right thing to happen.
Okay.
It's likely to be the other side.
But then it not result to anything. It not result to nothing because it resulted to waiting neck we don't set up already as the schedule for this electioneering process.
Yeah, but again, it will look at the process. Okay, and bring up things them when we are silent, when nobody touch, when we just say they will bring problem for election. Then bring a camp up, 10 things that were brought up, the court hold up to 9. So it makes a difference.
But what difference did he make? Like, that's not what I don't understand. Because the court...
They get smooth election.
No, I mean, according to the injunction, there not be one seven.
Come up now a citizen and in rights and civic rights.
No, we're not deny that. Now, in rights for do what you do.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to be reasonable, you know, especially in a democracy that is unstable and fragile. We don't want to bring people that all necessarily anytime where election come, we picking at the lock school, people that know you go work. That is very abnormal for any country. And only under APC didn't kite here they happen because under SLPP, whatever the whole election, they not be the lock school, things that be they happen normally. So what do you think about that?
Mr. Sheriff, I beg to disagree. I don't witness every election as alone. Schools they close. It does depend on how long they close.
Does it not be they close this long?
Well, but you say it had close. Probably say it had close for long. But for you to absolute word say school not close, I disagree.
So this na APC and your style for say school for close longer than how it for close during SLPP? Is that what you're saying?
Also, APC ask for the school close, but the system ask for the school close. People say and say, you know, okay, let people go to school during election. Teachers they never vote, and so on. All right, and even America they still bring an example. The days we have president election in America, there is no school. There is no school. It's just obvious like that. So,
well, because now make that but they know they interrupt the school system, then they make sure say then the whole election on a day where they know they interrupt school system now this country. That's what we are saying.
Well, then a responsibility of everybody. During SLPP, election were conducted during the weekdays. So if we don't want that, so let me go back to the books. And it become part of the books there. Lord, they say no election should be conducted between Monday to Friday. Bam, you don't know for everybody.
Okay, and
but
so
as long as you know this too, you get the freedom to choose whatever you want to choose.
Okay, so Mr. Toure, moving forward, plenty of people in the back where they maintain this idea say the presidential candidate of the APC, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, done they around with money business for very long time, over 30 years. But still, Sierra Leone continues to be at the bottom of the Human Development Index. Sierra Leone are one of the poorest countries in the world. What to make you feel say we for entrust this Maya with country in business at this point?
The country, not to Samura alone. The country now we are. That we get to know. Not the one person deal America, not the one person deal a nation.
No, but Mr. Toure, let us set one record straight before you go. No, make us set one record straight. The thing is, it been there in position where in they advise the president on fiscal matters then. So maybe advice not been good or nobody they listen to him. Like this is what I want you to articulate yourself on.
Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Sheriff, anything they owe all the work on, or they hope for bill on. Okay? One for bill with career, one for bill with resume. Alright? Because it's very, very important for us. If Samura NPRC come, they work with them. Then take them. SLPP come, then call and say can work with three. APC come, they say can work with three. It means a lot. If you not get anything in a way good, anything in a way good, one of them government here before don't throw them out. And one way very good. Even when in there with this fight with Manabio and others, there no points to that say you corrupt. There no points there. Me believe say if that man be not squander so many things, so many corrupt financial things there within this campaign, one of the parties out of the 16 or 17 parties, one of them for don't bring her out to this high profile. And don't forget, as you say, now advice is advice. It's advice. He didn't dictate. He gives the best of his advice. He left with the person in power. He left with the other agents the way they around for implement fully in advice or not. Again, I'll bring an example. We live in America, we see how the current president will get. Advisors will take this and he will do nothing else. I did not do the work. They did the work. And we all know Nasano. So
right. And so, yeah, but Mr. Toure, I mean, I understand your point about him advising, you know, that then just we don't get debate, presidential debate, you know, during this process. And if we get the opportunity for bring that up for say, if they advise former presidents, current presidents on fiscal matters, and then nobody listen, and so now that make West Sierra Leone Day in the predicament we'll find ourselves in financially or economically. So, but you know, one day talk instead, just like how nobody no point tampana, instead have not bring up anything where they should say if they don't they advise people there and they not be done they listen to them, and also as such, that's why we find ourselves in this economic predicament.
Not that all not listen. And when do we listen come, we see the difference.
What is the difference?
Okay. Go to Sierra Leone.
No, I have been there, Mr. Toure. People are going to bed hungry in Sierra Leone.
And tonight, people of Sierra Leone will tell you, say, okay, something happened with me and you not see because we're not here.
No, but people then they go to bed hungry in Sierra Leone right now. So is that a good economic policy?
People go to bed hungry and it's everywhere.
Hey, this is not a trivial issue, Mr. Toure, please.
No, it's a very serious issue. And when they bring economic attack so people go to bed. You see, the thing is, Mr. Sheriff,
so you go compare that everywhere to the magnitude in Sierra Leone?
Absolute statement. Okay. And from million background, I'm a shatter, million background. Okay. When we make absolute statements, I don't open them up. Because
no, but because they trivialize them, when would they talk about people go?
Okay, you say people they go hungry, people don't think and so on.
People go to bed hungry in Sierra Leone right now.
Yeah, no matter say, even here, people go to bed hungry.
So in other words, a country where not able to feed in people there, not a country where doomed for fail. What do you think?
And people now begin to go to hungry from 2007 to now. People have been going hungry.
From 2007 to now, right?
Before that. Even before that. I was said before that.
No, because rest now be 60,000 leons. Now 250,000 leons.
Look the timeline. That is how many years? Check the money value. Mr. Sheriff.
But why the monetary value for go that way if there is a good government or fiscal policy where they in place?
It goes to everywhere, Mr. Sheriff. It goes to everywhere. Money they go with time. Money and value go with time for anything. So if something be 60,000 loans now, not take as a 10 years later.
It's not going to be 60,000, but it's not going to skyrocket.
Not skyrocket. It's still there within the economic framework. It's still there within the economic definition. Okay? That is an absolute comparison where it's not right. It not mean say things you are paid this amount of money so time. Do you want to think say the whole constant? No. It's not the whole constant. Because all the factors the way they come inside when they make that thing the change.
So what you go say about people the way they talk say then get a better fiscal policy where they go able to implement and things they're not going to be hard on Sierra Leoneans the way we hard on them right now. What do you say about those people?
As long as they get two options. Support genuinely the government in power. Support genuinely the government in power number one. Or come through the ballot, sell your ideas or your money, sell them to the people there. If they buy them, go ahead and implement them. So that means the two things. You either support genuinely the one way they did already, or come with your own during elections, sell them out. If they buy them, go ahead and implement and carry forward.
Yeah, of course, that's the ultimate way where you go able for implement policies. But I'm just saying that there are better policies than the policies we have now. That's what I'm trying to say.
There are better policies, Mr. Sheriff. In most cases, the call has been extended. If we are patriotic, let's go support and build the country. And one way for doing, and not means a past government employ you.
No, like what here they do so. That's one way I am helping in my own way, right?
If all of us are doing that small thing there, we will do two things. One, We went for influence policies, national policies, too. 1, 2, we set them for move things and move forward. But when we stand on the side for just the critique, we don't sacrifice. In 2013, I left Naya. I go Salo. I walked throughout the Ebola. People didn't run away. Go ask for me. I stayed there. I went to almost every Ebola treatment center. Me went and picked the call. Friends and they called me and say, Sam, what are you doing there? I said, if I don't do my waiting fine, it will be so bad for me I left here so waiting on fine. That was my own service. Okay,
we appreciate you for that, for doing that. That's very appreciated.
So we can go and do with your small thing. Like how you do it also. You don't create a platform where we come and we share ideas that we hope see we move the country to go forward.
But you know, but you know, let we look at this. Let we look at it this way, Mr. Toure. You know, when the APC is in power, when the president in power for all these past 10 years, when you look at his cabinet, even the one that way then they work with him, they are 90% of the cabinet ministers then now be people that will either come up from Northern Province or part of Western area. They not ever try for include people then from the Southeast. Now few people then they inside we know see the Tunis, Mojo Kakai them, Maya Kakai them, but that's it. I mean, so when you rule a country, which say you get fragile democracy, you want for rule with inclusion. But the APC is not known for these things.
I'm glad the way you retract your statement because I think you don't understand. I don't tell you say I don't take absolute. So like when you first say you don't include nobody, but you come back and
no include three out of 30 something.
All right. You know what thing? Mr. Sheriff? Let me say this. I'm one for say, but let me say. Okay. SLPP during Pakaba. And the only government where it run in government after the return, okay, not just Northern, but when no single Limberman go to the record and track, and no single Limberman is not included throughout in cabinet, they don't in government. You agree? How you call that?
I get for vet that one day. I get for vet. I not too.
No better. Name I want better and come back. Okay. No single Limberman as if, I mean, the worst people in the country, as if they're not getting nothing for the country and so on.
So this look like a revenge.
I don't bring an example.
Okay.
If you look at the government of Ernest Koroma, it diversified a mix. Okay? A mix. Not just country, there are those who now come and serve and then go. Alright? And other than they we hold big position, and one thing we need get credit for is that the one that we meet now working place there. If you don't do anything bad, they're not sack nobody. They don't can sack nobody say because you know SLPP don't get you out. Even at key officers of who work and so on. Some people who were down there, they call them, they even the government will say, why do we have these people who we know say they are die-hard SLPP right there? Why do we still have them? And his response was, they are Leoneans. As long as they're doing their work, they are Leoneans and that's the one they will buy. Okay? While as the other one there, we know that for camp, they're not mind for take one whole area and wipe everybody up from us and bring the union and come inside.
Right. Okay, so me family this time, Mr. Samuel Delito Toure, of course, fearless APC member. And I'm a man, I would too be there inside Philadelphia. You know, if you know say that so this conversation get for go on. But again for hang out with me now so today. After a little bit, we'll call him back for let's discuss some other issues. Then, of course, Mr. Toure, we appreciate you for coming on. And of course, most of the issues that we don't articulate on, we know say you get some points, right? The only thing me and you to not get for agree on all of them.
Of course.
All right, thank you very much for now. I will call you again a little later.
All right.
Now we are Romendi all for B for Dr. Samura Kamara. For any other no See, if you be SLPP, we go all investment in area. We will offend the SLPP, then we vote for them people who vote for SLPP who will offend them now. Buya Romendi and that day they're not asleep now. The job of them now they bring them now. No will sleep now. So with the one on now, we not be make up on our mind or make up on our mind straight because we don't want no enough by this business here. No way. Enough. Now what you want to tell now? For B, if in a 5 or 10,000 or 50,000. Now Buya Romendi all for B for Dr. Samura Kamara. For any other no, see, if you be SLPP, we go all investment in area. We will offend the SLPP, then we vote for them people who vote for SLPP who will offend them now. Buya Romendi and that day they're not asleep now. The job of them now they bring them now. No will sleep now. So with the one on now.
All right, so before we that's what we talk about. You when I said down here, what we talk about. I mean, when we get a democracy in a country, we say people then forget freedom. We say people then supposed to feel free for many votes for any political party or any candidate of their choice. But then we get leaders of the APC where they talk like that. Now that's a bit try for tell the little. But it maybe you not watch this video and you need for watch that video for make you go believe what you have to tell them. Right? We're not supposed for the entertain then kind thing and then at the country at all. We're not supposed for entertain those things. And so my family then we get for continue for bring the programs to now. Of course, elections, polling stations have closed, counting they go on. And of course, just like how we don't tell you, we get plenty of people that they out there, then they send in information, latest informations, then when they come in. Of course, now we own a WhatsApp group. Of course, we get a lot of things they come in right now, which we get now. Now we don't get another. This now like a provisional results. Now they come in. We'll go try for pull and for see if we go able for actually read them to una in a better way than what they see now. But this now the election updates all they get where they come in, and of course we continue for follow up on this now some of the numbers that where they come in as we see them on the screen right about this time. So it is absolutely necessary for us to continue to follow up on this, right? But before this runoff election to take place, Wusai will be there before now. That's what we are trying to bring over to you guys. Wusai will be there before this time, right? Of course, the last announcement where the National Electoral Commissioner, when Mohammed Infa Ali Conte be make, where can we go for this runoff was this one right here, wherein they talk say, between the APC and the SLPP, how then coming, how NEC did the simple math. That's how we call it here. APC, they say you get 833,519 votes during the 75%, and then they add 249,000. That equals to 1,082,519. Take note of the 249,000. Take note of that. SLPP 848,438 plus 249,000. That equals 1,097,438. Now you can find out say APC and SLPP they both to get 249,000 divided equally between them. So that is where the question is: why they divide them equally between them like that? That's what a lot of people don't understand. So waiting the happen, waiting with the scenario is that the 25% will be done left behind, and according to National Electoral Commission, that between the APC and the SLPP, now 498,000 people then vote for them. Then two party them. Now, when you divide 498,000 by 2, you dey get 249,000. So it look like say then just shape the 498,000 into two and shape them between the two political parties them. Now the question that remains is, how credible is this figure? Wusa you don't ever see in a Sierra Leonean election, especially between the APC and the SLPP, Wusa then they vote for them equally. 10 people then vote here, 10 people then vote here. Where be say one great person no pass. You know? So there is a question about this particular number, and that's what a lot of people have been saying. There is quite a lot of questions about that number, you know, because it is not so easy for something like that one they happen. So now, me family them, you know, the polling stations they don't close, and would they expect say, you know, the Tallyings they go faster. So we not just know, even though we get intelligence, where they come to where they tell we say, you know, there is a plan for the security officers in the country then for made and tamper with them ballot boxes over the night tonight. So right now maybe they're busy in Sierra Leone, something they can go on. So hopefully not. But if it happen, it will be very devastating for the country. And that is what a lot of people don't want for may happen in the country. Right? So when we don't go into then kind of elections there, where things like this don't happen, you know, why did it ever take long for me to announce the result to we? I mean, even though this one are just two people then, Dr. Samura Kamara and retired Brigadier General Julius Madabio, now then two no more. So we don't know how long it get for take neck for me to go announce the result. So in fact, that make way BBC then they provoke we on this issue. Because they say Sierra Leone used to be the Athens of West Africa. Now, Sierra Leone, all man be the common other parts now Africa, then they can't study in our country. So for let we able to do basic maths, it take with this long. You know, it take with this long for count 2 million votes now the country with all the neck staff where they hire, where they employ for me to do this work here. So hopefully this not going to take another week for let get the answer. And they're not going to give we result by percentages, 25%, 50%. We want Wooden the winner because this wire not by percentage. If he pass anybody by single vote, now you know they declare as the president of the country. So let us listen to BBC what they talk about we as far as this is concerned.
Kibaki mad.
Yes, Olushambos.
I'm very worried about Sierra Leone.
Oh, yes?
Freetown used to be the center of African learning, the Athens of our continent, the Oxbridge of West Africa. But no more. Standards have clearly fallen drastically.
That might be because of the last civil war. Schools closed, you know.
I mean, Sierra Leoneans can scarcely read or write. And as for their arithmetic, they just don't seem to be able to add up anymore.
Really?
Well, how else can you explain the incredible length of time it took to count the votes in this month's elections?
How long?
More than a week. How long does it take you to count to 10, Kibaki Mad?
Depends how slowly I count.
Okay, well, let's time you. Go nice and slowly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
8 seconds. So, okay, let's do some calculations. You on your own would count 48 votes every minute, which means 2,800 every hour. And if you were to work 8 hours a day with half an hour off for lunch, 15 minutes for tea, 3 toilet breaks of 5 minutes, maybe 7, you'd manage to get through 20,160 ballot papers a day, or getting on for 142,000 in a week. Now, I'm about twice as quick as you. So, between us, with a little help from the first ladies and our children and grandchildren, we could have counted all the 2 million votes cast in Sierra Leone's elections quicker than the hundreds and hundreds of Sierra Leone election officials hired to do the job. So, either mathematical standards have drastically fallen, or Sierra Leoneans are very, very lazy, or they take far too many toilet breaks.
Democracy cannot be rushed, Olushambles. It's important that everything is done properly. Otherwise, the result would be disputed.
Well, all I can say is, now that they're going to have a runoff, they'd better start counting now. Otherwise, Sierra Leone might have to wait till 2019 for the result.
But they can't start counting now.
Why not?
Because they haven't voted yet.
Does that matter, Kibaki man?
I think so, Olushambles. The general idea of elections is that people put their cross against the party of their choice and the presidential candidate of their choice. And then the votes are counted.
Kibaki mad. For the past 50 years, Sierra Leone has been run by the same two political parties, the SLPP and the APC. They've both been hopeless. They have presided over a relentless terminal decline. So they might as well start counting now, or toss a coin, or just award victory to the man who pays the biggest bribe. And let me give you a tip, Kibaki Mad.
What's that?
Whatever you do, don't over-educate your people.
Why is that?
Educated people are hard to dupe. They can spot lies when they hear them. They don't believe in empty promises, and certainly don't teach them mathematics. Because then they'd be able to spot electoral fraud. And that would never do, would it?
Tune in next week for more resident presidents from the BBC.
Right, so you see, this now the BBC now in the provoke we as Sierra Leoneans on how it take we forever for Mokugo able for count with your votes. And they associate her with corruption because they know they try for tell with people them, you know, the kind yuki where they play inside this whole thing. And just like how we don't advise people them, people have to be very careful as to anybody when a part of this electoral process, whether either an official or a security guard or anything, for letting not go mess with these votes. Because when you do that, we don't know what's going to happen with you, right? So not that. But anyway, we've been get some declarations them, some supports the way the Sierra Leone People's Party been get. And just like how we can tell when I make would say a lot of thanks to Mr. Samuel Delito Toure for we get in mind, the bold mind for able for, you know, actually appear on we network. And you see, this is what we expected. But we don't send invitations out to APC members. They had deliberately refused to come on. And so you know, I like waiting Delito do. Of course, it come on. We'll get for Brian come again for let's talk on other issues them. But SLPP get some endorsements them before this election. And one of the endorsements come out from somebody when I be a prominent person, a prominent young man, na Sierra Leone, we get impact over a lot of young people in the country. When the National Grand Coalition will be the support, it be there with Kandeyum Kela. But at this point, we can't win. It decide for throw in weight behind the you know, retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio, and of course the SLPP. So let's see that.
What up? What's good, man? It's your boy Kyle De Niro, man. Both case, you know, Black James Bond. Yeah, me people, you know, definitely. I know say when I stand for change, from the beginning. I still stand on that ideology there, but just in a different twist this time. You know what I mean? As it don't sound so now, as how things they look, I feel like for say the right person way, all my fans them for go out there and vote for now Brigadier Julius Maada Bio. You know what I mean? Because Salon they at a crossroad right now, me people, man. Definitely, this is not a fake news. You know what I mean? This is real. It's the real deal. It's Kyle De Niro talking to you. We don't want continuity. Power pass Salon for better, man. Now the kind of change that we need right now. And I believe saying that the change we will bring solemn and peace now the entertainment industry. You know, now the change we Kyle De Niro they advocate for. So nothing not change or no shaking. All Black Leo fans them wanna make the transformation, man. Power pass. One love.
Hey, would I make the transformation? You know what I mean? A man and a power, you know, under all. Okay, that a Kyle De Niro, of course, now is Sierra Leonean hip hop artist. Of course, he gets a lot of influence over quite a lot of people in the country, young people in the country. And so, if it supports kind of young killer, but nowadays he is currently supporting Julius Maada Bio and the SLPP. So now they got that. So I don't know if he'll be able to make an impact on, the voting population, especially 18 years old and above, right? And then next we also get another endorsement from who else? Mr. Charles Francis Magai, because he endorsed the SLPP. You know, since Charles Francis Magai now be the man this way contribute immensely for let the APC come back in power in 2007, and so this being term it don't endorse the SLPP. So let's listen to him for know what he is saying back.
In support to our mother party, SLPP. It's nice to be back home. And I feel very comfortable in the midst of my dear, the prince himself of all the princes. What is being witnessed here today should, in my view, give assurance and comfort to every Sierra Leonean that we are about to embark on a new dawn of prosperity and not austerity. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 days ago, we met, meeting the National Council of PMDC, which is the second highest decision-making body of PMDC, to deliberate on where our support should lie. And we debated for almost 2 hours, and a vote was taken as democracy demands, and the result was 22-5 in favor of giving our support, undivided support to the Sierra Leone People's Party to redeem us from the doldrums in which this nation finds ourselves. We are very pleased, Mr. Vice President in waiting, Chairman and leader of the Sierra Leone People's Party, that we have made the right choice. And it is not just declaring our support for SLPP, but we are going to work side by side with you in our quest to achieve giving support to our mother party, SLPP. It's nice to be back home.
Waiting the council. Yeah, man. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold 'em, sister. No left. Hold 'em, brother. No left, Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, good, commodity, good, commodity, good, you don't WhatsApp me, I don't WhatsApp you. I tell I don't contact you. Talk na phone, take 2:30. Don't first in the morning, I text back you. You not see me, I not see you. Pass picture, well today you don't see me. So hold me tight, make I hold you tight. You go do chaga down head, shoot on side. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody.
Leka will be say again. I'm so sorry. The microphone be off. We don't bring her up again. Right now we get Mr. Lahai Lawrence Lima on the line from Freetown. Of course, we get for talk to him exclusively on some updates on the election. So, Mr. Lima, what you go able for tell we about how you observe the runoff election today? What are your observations?
Well, I get plenty of observation, but one thing we crown on all the fact say we're able to conclude successfully so far. We actually start the poll this morning with some incidents of isolated violence with the specific polling stations, but after some time before the polling started, that didn't get for quelled down. The polling continued till 2, 2:30, getting to 3 o'clock. We start to get another incident of violence around Maffafield, Lumley, Regent Road. And much of them violence incidents that would happen, them very quick, but what them way APC being released. And then violence then when they perpetrate on people largely can be happened before some of the police and even some of the military without any action for able to stop then violent acts. And so largely we people then come under tremendous intimidation. But fortunately in the many areas now that we agents are able to stay intact and try to ensure they maintain the vigilance and do the work. Well, towards this evening, retired Brigadier Gilosma, even myself when I go vote, that very map I feel just after dinner they are register. The moment I pass because people actually know that sabi me. The moment I pass, few people will sabi me, they tell him I pass here. I don't run down for go vote. One, they try for run behind me for stab, but me driver will go vote. They try for block them and then
for stab you. They try
but fortunately, they are able to escape that.
Wow.
Yes.
You say that they try for stab you. Is that what they did, Mr. Lima?
Yes, from the back. Yes, from the
Wow.
back. I didn't know. In fact, I was going already. Somebody said Lima just passed here. So the rush now for come with net then clicks before them, but me driver able for drive through and block them. And now in sustain the injury and then broke the motor glass and the tire bus. So me be able for actually go through the voting place because I be done left some distance. I go me voting place and vote and come, but I'm able for pass through that very end. I get for call back na host to the leader we send motor and some securities and go left me. Shortly when I realized I don't left the place don't come na host, then now put people in behind the vehicle. But maybe don't come na host. So some of the security personnel then we actually been to go around for check the other centers then. They meet up them the armed men the way they with President Kumar, they meet up now the Lumley roundabout before the police station, then put them under tremendous pressure, fire, arrest some of them, lacerate them, they wound them. As I speak to you now, they don't go lock them at police and then they still torture them from what you will get. But we're able to update we international observers then and also update the media on a press conference that we'll get this evening and try to give an update.
Okay.
Thankfully enough, we're able to manage the situation, results and on the trickling. And so far, results them would only come in very encouraging for the SLPP across the country. And we're very, very much optimistic, say the SLPP could be declared the next party way from the next government in this country. Above all as well, this evening, Patso almost they live very close to the leader of the Sierra Leone People's Party, retired Brigadier Gilosma. Then very people and we actually bump into some of them with security personnel and this evening still come around Patso in house about 3 van loads of armed men that were dressed in police attire, but normally some of them not to police, but then they impersonate the police. They come after some activities around it and they harass people the way they come through the leader in house. So to an extent where some of the security man they also go down, they begin harass and then fire. The guys them one of them by the name of Boss Truth, when I've been part of them West Side Boys them when are them currently a presidential guard to President Kumar. Being get for fire live rounds on the air. And so myself get for do a few write up for update the public on the Facebook page. But as I speak to you now, situations are down now. Things they actually don't calm down at the moment, even though we don't know what will happen in the next minute, but we hope say everything will be fine in its entirety. But actually, we're very, very much pleased that the results will come in very, very much encouraging. And we're very much optimistic, say we form the next government. The SLPP will form the next government.
So, Mr. Lima, waiting at from your own understanding, waiting at the specific reason on a day of a runoff elections where you not the PRO of the SLPP, then people that they try for intimidate you now. What is the point?
Well, in the first place, they never wanted the counting to take place, and they want to disrupt the process before the process go end. But we actually don't see the strategy, and we don't see the angle where they come out. So we try for maintain a lot of restraints, not for playing to the hands. And we try for guide the process for make we not actually live up to the provocation and then abort the electoral process in itself, because now that's what they look forward to. And we really want the elections. So by provoking situation in this end and in the northern part, perhaps when the feel that will resonate also with the south and the east for react. But fortunately, I'm always very prompting. When the thing they happen, I give a quick situational update by making an audio where they put out of membership for let them able to maintain some focus.
Right.
And thankfully enough, the membership able for listening, we maintain restraint. The time don't done for the voting, counting don't go on. So in spite of all the violent activities, we not fall into the hands, even though some of women then fall casualty in the hands, but very soon, by God's grace, then go left them. We actually prevent them, and people don't done today. The countings actually don't go on. Results are coming out. So relatively, you might not say entirely it's peaceful, but relatively, we're fine, and we're fine with results coming up.
Right, relatively. And so, you know, with the results coming in and everything happening, we still don't get some feeds then when they come in with regards to the results. So, when would they expect for get the final announcement from National Electoral Commission on would I win this election?
Well, one thing we're actually unique this time around is that the results, before even when polls don't close, in the next 30, 40 minutes, you see results, they come in rapidly. So because now two political parties no more than they deal with, and they know they deal with other type of elections, but purely presidentials, we are actually, because we also day in an holiday period, we look between Monday to Wednesday for results. Okay.
And, you know, as per your confidence, waiting again, you go tell me about even the police force, because a lot of people that we get issues with the police in the last election, you know, wherein they perpetrate, you know, certain activities that were not right. This time around, waiting you go tell me about what happened.
As I speak to you, you really get some police who are very professional in their duties. And some really not professional. Some they take orders from the political class and not from the chain of command. Similarly to the military, you get some commanders and some personnel who are partisan and not being professional. But there is one thing where I still want to send out to them, that these are state institutions, and then they survive, government come and go. And that them for ready for work with any government will come into governance. Therefore, for stay off politics in the sense that they're not for be a partisan police nor a partisan military. Rather, they are state institutions. They should be seen serving the state and the people of the state, so that any government will come, they no need for be worried as to would that come, would that not come. That they are professional institutions and they are professional personnel. Therefore, be ready and comfortable for serve any government will come into governance. What is disturbing at the same time now that AIG Kylie don't use a lot of professionalism, don't use a lot of discretion for make sure say they try to manage a situation outside political class they give orders, even to some of the subordinates them to the police hierarchy. And that actually don't make the job very difficult for the police for make them able to do their job, because you get some personnel who are loyal to their political class instead of the chain of command. But some very, very senior hierarchy of within the police rank and file don't able to manage the situation. But as I speak to you, we end up for land say AIG Kylie, who has actually done a very good professional work, they don't send them on an immediate leave. Much as also it happened yesterday outside and therefore change the commandant na Juba with a party loyalist similarly today, the AIG Kylie and the police who have been doing a very professional job, they don't send them on a leave. So we they tell the APC say, then get a duty for ensure say, then guide a peaceful transition of power. This is very clear that the people have spoken and the voices of the people must be respected by all and sundry.
And so some intelligence reports they will be getting for say the APC government, we don't put pressure on the National Electoral Commission that no matter what happen, the results of this runoff elections should be announced in the favor of the APC. And in fact, some people they take her up with the Hague and all of that. What do you think about that?
If wishes are like a triangle, they will make God three-sided. That is the wish of the APC for continuing governance. But unfortunately, the mismanagement of the state economy and also abuse of state authority really make the people fed up with them. And the vote will just conclude now. A protest vote, the people don't do against them. And from this press release was he coming from the Secretary General, it's tantamount to inciting violence, especially when results come in few hours. And he was claiming a lead when results are really coming in. It's not in their favor in both places like where we consider for be very critical in this pool. SLPP, they do extremely well in places like Cambia, in Kono, and in Tonkolili. SLPP, they do extremely well. And these are the very critical and crucial areas, especially Cambia and Kono, for determining the pools. In Freetown, we don't beat them in many, many areas. In Kono, we lead them massively. In Cambia, we beat them some areas and they beat with some areas. So the results actually coming in from the south and the east as well is about 90% difference or gap between the SLPP and the APC, where the SLPP they take the lead. So all of those things put together, it tells you that SLPP in the commanding lead in this election. So for make the APC actually they put whatever undue pressure, it's going to be an effort in futility. For the people who have spoken and they have spoken loudly, from all that is coming in so far, the people have decided retired Brigadier Julius Madabio as their next president. But at any rate, we patiently wait for the National Electoral Commission, which has the exclusive constitutional authority and mandate for declare the next president and the next government or the next party where they form the next government as per waiting the people don't speak. So we patiently wait that and we call on the APC for respect the voice and mandate of the people.
So, Mr. Lima, you know, think say because you know the polling results then they come in, and according to you, SLPP they lead, you know, the APC about this time. But if APC don't come out with a press release now preempting the National Electoral Commission, you know, if you say that now a groundwork where they do for waiting really at the intention for change the will of the people in their favor.
It's not going to serve them anyway, and that is why I call on the security forces for before this time I don't call on them that even the proliferation today on the streets, with also giving protection to some people where they cause violence on the voters. That kind of activities, if it continue, it tantamount to subversive activities, and the rule where actually legitimate in Sierra Leone constitutional rule, and therefore, if the APC they go that path, I think it's very good in their best interest for make actually then try for curtail, because the neck cannot be preempt, and neither try to force them for do things the other way. The people don't speak, and we agents in the field, and the filter we with results actually they come in. Maybe before the neck they even come up with the final results, we go down collect results done. And as I speak to you authoritatively, the Sierra Leone People's Party Day in the commanding lead, but we actually respect the National Electoral Commission as a competent body. We actually for come with an official decree. That notwithstanding, we get to the Tallying Center and we are doing extremely well in these elections across the country.
That's good. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, that now Mr. Lahai Lawrence Lima. Of course, they talked away from Freetown live on updates on the elections. Mr. Lima, thank you so much. We're going to check with you maybe late to now. So maybe tomorrow now we'll go check with you for more updates. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Yeah. I'm always...
Right, so that's now Mr. Lawrence Lahai Lawrence Lima. Of course, my family will another year which they go on. I mean, what you don't understand is why the APC they rush for pull a press release. This is how they rig elections. You are not supposed to be pulling any press release few hours after when the polling stations are don't close, because they try for preempt the National Electoral Commission by announcing that you are in a lead. Now here comes the SLPP PRO. Instead they talk say SLPP they in a lead. So this is not to confusion. Why are you going into all of that at this point? But anyway, that's APC, and that's how they do things. And that make we get for continue for talk to Delito, Samuel Delito Toure. We'll get for Brian Canback for let's talk on some of the issues they are. And so me found the one for Makuna stick around as we continue for bring the programs into now. Of course, Sheriff's Broadcast Network coming to you live from Houston, Texas. Stick around with us.
Waiting the council. Yeah, man. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold 'em, sister. No left hand. Hold 'em, gagak. Hold 'em, yeah. Hold 'em, brother. No left hand. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, go it, come on, go it, come on. You don't WhatsApp me, I don't WhatsApp you. Airtel, I don't contact you. Talk na phone, take 2:30. Don't first in the morning, I text back you. You not see me, I not see you. Pass picture, well today you don't see me. So hold me tight, make I hold you tight. You go do chaka down head, shoot on side. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold 'em, sister. No left hand. Hold 'em, gagak. Hold 'em, yeah. Hold 'em, brother. No left hand. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em day. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em some side. Hold 'em day. I tell yourself, Sammy get mind do. If you am go fast, go it, come on, go it, come on. Feel free, make we help we self. I beg no tight game, make we show we self. Yam speak to irrespect nef. I go auction me love than you expect self. Hold me, I hold you like husband and wife. As you taste me so pass die make we left. As I be angle like chinch, nyak. If you slack and small at the pinch, nyagak mar. Eyak man. Left. Hold somebody, make you hold 'em. Hold somebody, I beg you make you hold 'em. Judge somebody, body body ya hold 'em. Hold somebody, tell 'em say you like 'em. Hold somebody, make you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Sheriff's Broadcast Network, the place whoosai with the brings Sierra Leone live to whoosai ever you day around the globe. Of course, this day is a very important day in the life of Sierra Leone, of course, in the history of the country, as we try with people that don't go to the polls today for choose the next president of the country. We go rule for another 5 years. Of course, today runoff election, according to the publicity, the national publicity or the national publicity secretary of the SLPP, it say it go relatively peaceful, but of course there were little problems here and there. We come up, and just like how you hear Mr. Lahai Lawrence Lima. And of course, on the line now, we get we own brother also, when Mr. Matthew Brima. Of course, if you don't in Sierra Leone for a length of time, and he do some observations, we will go ask her now for make you go talk to we exclusively about some of the things that we observe. Hello, Mr. Brima. How you do, sir?
Good, thank you, my brother.
That's good. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network, and of course, we appreciate you for coming on. And so, you just come out Sierra Leone with regards to the politics in the country, the electioneering process. What are you going to share with we as to waiting at your observations while you're in the country?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for what you do, especially for we Sierra Leoneans with the way. Probably this is not my first elections where since 1996 where I'm not able to fully participate in. 1996, interestingly, I was employed by Umfa Ali, the present next boss right now. Then it was INEC. And I remember say, you know, you look at me and say, you know, I trust this young man, and so I will make him my stores manager at Kenema. Right. So I was store manager for all the elections materials at Kenema, for Kenema district, and Ufa been there as the next boss. And maybe for all of us, I want to tell Sierra Leoneans that in as much as Ufa Alina Motorman, and we are not subject to we fall in nature, but I get high respect for that man. I get high respect for integrity. I don't watch him over the years. I don't work with him. I don't work out with him. We don't, you know, from 1996, we don't relate. So I want to say the best we can do as Sierra Leoneans is to pray for him and trust God, you know. But at the same time, let we give him the freedom and the space. I never see any elections where the elections boss don't get so much, you know, threat. I will use the word threat. It might be through the court system. It might be through the questioning of union process where you don't put together and all of that. And it's sad. It's sad. So let we continue for prayer for Ufa. But moving forward, you know, one of the things that we sad in my heart is the fact that in Sierra Leone today, truth is no longer truth. Truth depends on who that do the act and who that the talk. Now, I'm talking to you as somebody with a part of 8 religious leaders. We bring peace between Mara Bio and Ernest Kroma in that 2012 elections. And me personally be get me observation in the midst of all of we position on that elections. And it's sad. For no say at that time, SLPP didn't feel aggrieved about that election, took the matter to court, and the court to where I'm kicking come out now. Say, you know, when I can't file on Saturday, we need to sit down on Saturday, when I pull out. Now, as every Sierra Leonean, those things should worry us. Because I'll tell you the truth, my brother, what we face today, the outright corruption and degradation of things in Australia started off from those times. When we begin for let Ernest think say he's the all, you know, he gets absolute control over that. The Elections Commission, you know, the Electoral Commissioner say, go police. If you don't agree with me, you know, she canceled the number of votes and then terminate the day. And we just look at them and we left them as alone. No country not doing at the war, which I think even if it's 20 years, they will not pursue it. The American elections, up to date, America still investigating what happened in the election because this is a country that is determined to go forward. But let's stand it. Let's come back to, let's say, for example, what happened with the Sumana issue. I mean, again, I was part of people who, you know, they say, "Now go talk to Ernest," and they say, "Oh no, that man in case we're not involved, we may not get anything." I the party, eminent leaders in the country go sit down to Ernest. By the time they come out to Ernest, say, "Well, now go talk to Sam. Now in party get business." The next thing you see, you know, the president put press release along Saklama, and shamefully in a salon, shamefully. You know, Sierra Leoneans don't grab and say, no, this is unconstitutional. We not, like me, I don't need any court system for telling me say that's unconstitutional because it's never happened anywhere in the world.
Anywhere.
But we sit down, we left out. So we see what's going to happen now. We see the fact say, you know, people that they come out, they talk. You know, we see the fact say the police them, you know, they bias towards certain direction. We see the fact say right now as I talk to you, then I see video of something happen at Lumley. So your man they kick somebody and say one party guy said they kick the person and all of that, you know. And we only sit down and say, Lord, we left and give God. And I think say for let any country develop, we got for noting our truths, we got for embrace the truths no matter what thing, and we got for move forward. So for me, I'm worried. I'm worried because of the development in Sierra Leone. I mean, we don't see a lot of things that don't happen. We don't see the toll gate. You know, Salon are the only country in the world who said they're not done the toll gate, they put say for pay. Salon are the only country in the world, that's why you see the only road where they lead into the city, we have put toll gate on them, so people not get an alternative route and say they must pay before they start up. I mean, why do you want to go into things like that? So for less Salon Day, we say so Salon Day, first let me blame every one of these Leoneans, including myself, because I was part of a leadership system where sometimes we not push our voice enough for let President Ernest Sumana say what he was doing was wrong. And so this is my observation. And I think so we were there out of Sierra Leone. Please, I mean, this is an opportunity for we now. The election don't happen, we get a new government by God in power. Now we not left the government by themselves. Lord work with them, Lord work alongside with them. Because so long for the development, now we all. Rather than set of people with the go sit down and make contract with contractors, you know, if they can't make this road for we, the people don't know how much, they don't get any say into them. At the end of the day, you don't get any proper auditing system. So this is my observation, and I think say it's worrying because even in NEC now, I mean, for example, then one of these days I posted on Facebook that the High Court judge, you know, shamefully supposed to resign. Judge Mansari supposed to resign. Why did I say so? In the first place, this man, you know, get the constitutional mandate for court case on election issues. Right. That is one. The High Court, the Supreme Court don't say that. Right. Technically, that's what the Supreme Court say. Say, hey, let NEC continue to do and I make next and go court. But that's not the issue. The issue is this man don't waste with time. This man don't waste the country resources because all of them election people, they're waiting to get continue for pay for the next period of days. All the resources where they use between people who forget the elections from the 27th to the 31st, that's Solomon. And one person just sit down and meddle with things and say, I will put an injunction, even when people not even ask for an injunction in the first place. They put an injunction. And then so for me, I think say people like that who need to go after and say, hey, you don't disgrace me, you don't disgrace the profession. Right. And it go better for you for let resign because you don't waste country money. Right. But we're sitting there, we're seeing him, he's going to continue for parade the street, and people like that will still in the legal system, and those are the cankerworms that needs to be removed. And for me, I am a Christian, I have my conviction, being a Sierra Leonean, and I get my conviction about that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be me and God. Right. And I think say people like that will not for allow them. Will not for allow them for just sit down and take decision and meddle with the future of picking the way they go school right now. Business, Sumana, they will not get business right now. You know, and things like that. Right. So maybe I will stop here for now. I don't know if you want for.
Well, yeah. So I'll be one for just talk to you briefly about. You know, I appreciate everything we don't share with you. You've been in the country the first time we went into election. You know, we get plenty complaint that we come about. You know, ballot stuffing, voter malpractices. You know, even National Electoral Commission, whether they delay, whether they give you results and by percentages, all of that. You know, what thing you be observed? Why should they necessarily during that time for that election?
Well, I be get called for camp because I be get for camp to class. So I just before the voting happened. But I mean, I be there part of I noticed the whole process and I get opportunity for meet with some people that even are neckly, And I will tell you this: it's sad because this is what is happening. When NEC the plan in process and procedures for the elections. Parties were also planning their own procedures. Okay. Parties had their expectations and rules counter to what NEC in prescribed. So people, the judgment of NEC, rather good or bad, is coming from the fact that now so we want and forgo, not how NEC want and forgo. And for example, I'll tell you this: the whole auditing of the system of NEC is beyond just saying we don't trust you. It is like this is how we want you to do it, and you have to do it that way. Because NEC don't lay out a manual. I mean, me we don't I get access manual, and I know all the process we NEC therefore follow. And for me, I don't see any doubt in the process where they follow up until the counting. Yes, we accept the fact that there were delays, the election not come, and we accept the fact that if I leave, they call people and say when I come 7 o'clock, you know, they did all of those kinds of things. I mean, professionally, in terms of that was an administrative breakdown. We accept that. But in terms of the process itself, everybody knew what NEC was supposed to do. Why you know they don't come up with an audit of that day based on what the NEC will tell you to then get for do?
Right.
You left it down, the election don't start, nothing not done yet. You say no law audit. I mean law talk true. You dey audit something we don't do. You provide an audited statement of a completed project or a completed cycle. The cycle of the elections was not completed yet. He said let us audit. So I think say the problem is that we'll get an expectation of what you want next to. Secondly, almost all the parties had issues. Now, my brother, common sense don't show say where I lost, and you know they say it beat me. And they say now why they kick the ball, my shoes come on my foot. Now where he push me, now where he do me this, now I make a loss. Now, all these people, for example, NGC get a position, and C4C get a position, RUSP get their own position. Now, all of these guys, where are they today? Now, if you believe, genuinely say, the process not go on, why you not go court?
Right.
We just say, Allah, for now get attention, and then we left the case. And for me, I don't see any patriotism in all of that. If you are really convinced, I mean, I don't make a comment, this guy will take NEC go court. He might be influenced by some other parties, but he get the bold right, he get the boldness to say, I'll step up and do this.
Right.
I mean, for a whole political party, we can talk by the country. If they get press release and they talk for what NEC will do, what they know NEC not do. You have people in your party that are lawyers. Why not take the matter go court? Take it.
No.
You know,
so
for
in
me,
fact,
those are the whole thing.
Now that now some of the fears the way people then get for let people in governance not tell next say we don't care about what numbers you have, we don't care about what data you have, we want you to announce the result in this way, you know, something like that, because the rumor be don't go around, you know.
Yeah, I mean the truth is, like as I say, people want NEC for buy to them. Unfa whether na you, unfa na we appoint you. You know, now we put you na people they fail for realize say from the day where Parliament approved Unfa
is protected. He's protected by the Constitution and the Public Elections Act. Not answerable to the president even.
He's not.
You know, yeah.
That is why you can't take him to a high court. You have to take him to the Supreme Court.
To the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, and the only court where they sit on constitutional matters, and the NEC itself is enacted and authorized by the Constitution.
Right.
You know.
Mr. Ibrahim, I want to tell you plenty. Thank you for your inputs and everything. In case you get any more updates you want to share, which we do, feel free for call on we at any time. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, and thanks to all Sierra Leoneans. And I want to say that a lot of Sierra Leoneans, really, from the diaspora, participated in these elections, and I'm very proud of that. Right. I mean, then they will be just sit down overseas, you know, and see what they happen, and just talk, and when they get involved. I think that this election don't change a lot of things for Sierra Leone.
It did change a lot.
Good. I mean, people like you are investing your time, you know, and resource, and a lot of other things that you are putting aside because of what you do.
Right.
This is how every nation develops. And I tell you the truth, Sierra Leone, after this election, you know, mark my word, man, we are changing. We will experience true and sustainable development by God in power. So thank you very much, and thanks to all Sierra Leoneans.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. All right, you know, now the righteous brothers like those, now they would expect for profile and views on matters then we the CAM now Sheriff's Broadcast Network, of course. So now that's not the fear for let the APC government not tell NEC for say now we put you in this position, and no matter which numbers you get, you have to announce this result in this way, right? That's what we are fear. But now that make way with the tell INFA say INFA, you are protected by the Constitution of the country and the Public Elections Act. You are not supposed to be going into any clandestine meetings with the president. You are not answerable to the president anymore. Once the parliament will approve you, you are now working with the Constitution. And if anybody get a problem with you, may then take you to the Supreme Court. That's how the National Electoral Commission is powerful in the country, right? And so, my family, I want to stick around as we bring you more programs. Stick around with us. They say APC gets 833,519 votes in the 75% plus 249,000 equals 1,082,519, right? And that they say we make APC. Okay, SLPP they say 848,438 plus 249,000. That's the equals 1,097,438. And now you see the O2 get 249,000 equally. Why should that be? Right, ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff's Broadcast Network coming to you live and direct from Houston, Texas. And of course, checking with our news feeds on WhatsApp. Right now, we see that APC gets a press release with an issue out there. Of course, this is the press release right here as we see them. Looking at it right now from the screen right there, ladies and gentlemen. End of voting press release. Provisional results puts the All People's Congress in the lead. You see what you will tell Una? Like, they don't begin for preempt the National Electoral Commission. You know? Why you feel say, now you they in the lead, when in fact the other party instead they can do tally and they feel say that they in the lead. This is how confusion comes. Right? The leadership of the All People's Congress, APC, wishes to extend sincere thanks and appreciation to party members, supporters, and the general public for turning out to vote for the party earlier today. Provisional results trickling in put the APC in the lead. We do not expect this trend to change. As accounting is going on, we implore our members and supporters to remain vigilant to ensure that votes cast at polling stations are protected. In particular, we strongly urge all agents to ensure that RRFs are collected from the National Electoral Commission staff after counting and ensure that they accompany the ballot boxes and other sensitive election materials to the district tally centers. We will keep you updated on developments. Ambassador Alhaji Usman F. Yansane, National Secretary General APC. You know, so this kind thing they are, so when it is surfaced on days like this is not a recipe for confusion, recipe for disaster, recipe for violence. Now, this is just me. I mean, if you want to, tell your members then thank you, and if you say it is about time for you to do that right now. You know, the SLPP has not done it. Why are you rushing to conclusion? Now, for men and put up a challenge in the future in case they don't win this election, now the foundation now the NIPA make. This is APC and this is what they do, right? But for now, this is the press release that is coming from the APC. Maybe we'll be able for zoom them small so that you're able for really see what they talk about, right? This is the the provisional, the press release coming from them on their letterhead, right? And so, my family, let we continue for stick around and see what next is coming. But these are some of the things we are getting coming in, right? Earlier, we've been getting a video also with a show. Well, actually, we have this video. We can show you this video a little later on. But this is the press release that is coming on. It's coming into our studio from WhatsApp release, right? And so, inform them. We want for tell una plenty thank you for where we they follow everything where they happen in the country, and we continue for encouraging and follow una do that. Stick around as we continue for bring the programs to you. Stick around with us.
Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Straight talk for change.
Hello, Sheriff's Broadcast Network viewers from around the globe. Of course, this is Ibrahim Sheriff, that's my name. We know quite a lot of you have been following us. Each time we broadcast, you follow us and you see our programs. And of course, we are very much appreciative of that. And we remain very much thankful to all of you out there. And so today we are going to talk exclusively to the people of Sierra Leone because a very critical decision-making time has arrived there. And so we are going to talk to the people of the country, especially the electorates, the people who registered to vote in the runoff election that is slated for Saturday, March 31st, 2018. We are going to talk to them exclusively, and so we are going to do this broadcast today in our lingua franca, which is Creole. So we ask your indulgence to please bear with us as we use that lingua franca to pass on this message to all of them. So hopefully you will bear with us on that. All right, so we apologize for any inconvenience that may come with this. And so me salon famudem mina Ibrahim Sheriff. So today I want to take another quick moment for talk to una exclusively about we country Sierra Leone. The last time we will be go into elections, we've been trying for talk to una as well. At that time day, I bring come to una a very specific message about waiting at your duties and responsibilities and your rights as citizen of the country. When anytime you don't come away with a vote for the people that we get for, lead we inside the country, the people that we get for, be leaders then for the next 5 years. So how important you are to them. So I feel say it's necessary for let bring that talk to tone again. The last time we talked inside Creole, English, and so today we talk inside Creole. Now, the reason we make they come with this specific information to una today now because we all know say we win as Sierra Leone we born. We all know say Saturday, March 31st, 2018, a very important day that one day in our lives as citizens of that country. When we sit down and look at everything, I know say time day for politics. A particular time the way they come na the life of a country, where when the politics or when they play politics. A time the way they come where politics not necessary. And so right about this time in the history of Sierra Leone, not to the time this for play politics, the time for politics not to now. So it go fine for let we put politics aside and for let we actually take a telescopic look at we country. It's not like where you don't go to doctor they try for really know what happen with you. Then they don't tell you say, okay, go peace and bring the peace come and then pull your blood, then do all kind of tests by you, then get some machine the way that they put then specimen the way they don't take from you, where they put then in the inside, where they look at them, where they give them a clear picture of what's really wrong with you. So now that kind of way they will for the look at Sierra Leone right about this time. Not to the time this way we for play politics, not to the time this way we for they at each other's throat, not to the time this for fet. And especially for the one that when are young people in another country. When you look at the population of the country, you find out say we get more young people where they are the ages of 18 years old and above. And then people are so if we add another 10-15 years to their age, they're not too bobo, they're not too picking anymore. Now they're not the elders of the country. So if you they in that category, they not going to look at yourself as any minor person in the country. You're a very important stakeholder in the country because now you're not the future, right? So let us talk about the runoff election where they come. I mean, we don't see plenty things they go on. And so we now so when they talk straight, we know the pan ben business. Because we don't find out say now this and know the pan as Sierra Leoneans. Now in the make we know they go before because we they pay lip service to the country. Every time when they talk say, oh, we want for our country go before, oh, wait to make our country they be. But when a campaign put in action into the words they all they talk, we they always pay lip to Sierra Leone. We know they do justice to the country. Would they deceive the country? Would they disappoint yourself? So when you did talk about change, they start with yourself. how you dey behave, wetin you dey talk about, wetin you dey do to your country. Now then thing and they force we get for talk about. All right. So we don't see the politicians right now. We don't go into forced voting, and that forced voting they go between two political. I mean, it go among 16 political parties. Then one of the saloon people, then when I don't choose two panel political parties, then they for say now then two then are the best choices for the country. Whether it be justifiable or not under kalo na lie, but the body way we country where we all don't talk say now responsible for tell we about the results after all don't go he will vote them now for tell we the results. That body they don't tell we say now then two political parties then they are the top because they all two not able to forget the 55% what they supposed to forget for me then go declare the presidential candidate of that party they forbid the next president now the country. So because of the not able to get that 55%, now that make could go back into another election. So the message clear about that. But few things then they way I really want for making clear to you. I mean, you when a Sierra Leonean, we any side way they around this globe. These are very important things where you need for take into very serious consideration, right? Number one, we get a book, we get law where they guide in that country there. And the law where they guide in the country, what they call it the constitution of the country. The constitution of Sierra Leone don't tell we say, we when are the citizens in the country, now we get government. Now we powers, now they put government together. The one that will they put, what will they vote for, what will they make them go to state house, then go to parliament, then go to district council, local council. Then not so we boss them, now then as servants them for we. Because now by we own powers, the votes are all the votes for them. Now they make them go na them places and they. So the government where they operate, the government where they form, now we give them the powers for me them form them government and they. So then servants them for we, therefore serve we, therefore work for we. They're not to boss them for we. All right. So that's not the first thing we need for clear off, because they misconstrue. There are people that they misconstrue a lot about people the way that they vote for. Once we don't vote for people, then go sit down at them places, then they turn the whole message around. They make like say we are servants them for them. Where it be saying now then are servants for we. So if we don't accept that message then they will also understand another thing. When we talk about government, according to this same constitution what they talk about, we government divided into three arms. Right? Like what they say, where you get tick now, also you don't plant, the tick don't pull branches. The branch they go up, the other one day on the left, the other one day on the right. With government na salon getting three branches then they. Now then three branches and they come together now what they call government. Inside democracy. And democracy na government where they give you the lay people do the average person where they give you the right for make you go directly participate in the affairs of your own country. So let nobody not tell you for say you're not important. You important. You when as long as na inside Sierra Leone they born you, you're a very important person. Let nobody not lie to you about that. Okay. So the three arms of government inside a democracy, we get the legislature. The legislature now the one they will vote for where they go to parliament. We they vote for all the one that we did in then constituencies. Then we vote for 12 paramount chiefs there for go add up to them, and then they all come together, they become lawmakers. Now then at the legislature, now then they make laws then for we. Any laws that will get in the country, now then they sit down, they agree on, they discuss some, they debate, and then they agree, and it becomes law. Right? The executive, now the second branch of government, the executive that the president who want to vote for, and the ministers the way they nominate. Because when you nominate minister, now when the parliament now when I get for go approve the ministers, then they before they go become ministers for work for una. So even though not to elect, they elect the ministers then, but if una na parliament una not approve them, then they work as ministers. And we all for no say when we talk about parliament, now because the house will belong to us Leoneans. Now we all get a house the parliament building. But the house not big enough for able for take we all inside it. For long go sit down, they will talk about our country business, we'll talk about the laws, the way they guide in our country. The house not going to accommodate to all. So now that make would they elect people that for go represent we. So now then different constituencies that the things the way dear into una heart. When I know say this person how they vote for now, ain't go make anything and they change for we. So where that person go now, they represent una all. All right. So the first arm of government are the legislature. The second arm of government now the executive. The executive then are the president and the ministers them. The legislature now the parliamentarians them. So waiting at the third arm of government. The third arm of government are the judiciary. The judiciary then are the court systems and the police. Right? The law enforcement now then belong to their side and so the court system, you know, now then all the courts they all get in the country together with the police force now then at the judiciary, right? So then three arms they also don't talk about, they're all supposed to operate independent of each other. None of the arms of government are supposed to interfere by incompetence work way they do. Nobody not supposed to interfere. They're supposed to be separate. Where the parliament they operate, the president not supposed to interfere by what the parliament they do. What they don't do, the work done, they don't pass a law, it don't become bill, then Brian come to the president sign up. Bam, it become law, not the country. Then the president in there for interpret waiting they do na parliament. In there for do the work for we. All the laws the way they make now in they make sure say their laws here they work for the country. Now for uphold the laws them. Then are the president and ministers and then for operating at the country, the day-to-day activities now the country. Waiting the country depend on the day-to-day activities of the country. Now the president and the ministers then now for make sure say things then they work according to how they for work. Then if something don't come per law business, it don't come per court business, the judges there and the lawyers then at the court now then they handle that side. Then say supposed to operate independent, nobody not for influence them. Right? So now so with government they operate, now Sierra Leone, now so it's supposed to operate. But let me ask yourself a question as to whether with government they operate this way. That now a whole different thing, we'll talk about them later on. So now that we don't talk about NTSO, let me talk about the runoff election where they come. Now in the first place, some of we they against the idea of all the time we're going to runoff. One, it gets serious political complications and implications. And secondly, for a country like Sierra Leone, where the democracy will get under a very unstable, a very fragile. With constitution, we need to really pay attention to them and try for, review them and change certain laws there in that. Because, like when we don't hold that election, even the first election we go to, with people that all heart hang, that if you say something terrible get for happen, all of them, then suddenly, we don't go for the votes voting, they don't count the votes them, then they say we get for go for a second election. So to some of we feel say in all rights for people there, in injustice for people there. So we need to change that particular law inside the constitution. We forgo into election one term. The person will get the highest vote na in the winner. Now so then they do na America. America na the best democracy in the world. Now then they promote democracy in all other countries. In America, where they don't go into voting, the person will get the highest vote automatically now the president of the country. But we dey always talk say if nobody not able to get 55%, then we forgo into another election. That is just an unnecessary burden on the people of the country. Right? Now burden on the people. With the Yagba we say for nothing. We don't need to go through that. But anyway, now so we lost and they now. So now we go into this election. Now, me family, one thing I want to get for know is this. Politics not to play business. Politics nothing way structured. Politics not like a contract. Like you want for bill host, you don't get you land. You don't go get small money. You want for bill host na that landing. Then you don't get all the money where you get. Then you get contractors then where sabi bill host. Then you don't go negotiate with them, you don't talk with them, they don't tell you, say, if you give me so amount, will they able for build this house here so for you inside 6 months or inside 1 year, will they done this whole house for you? That are the agreement between you, the contractor, you, the owner of the land, and the contractor where is supposed to build this house here for you. Then you take the money, you give the contractor, you give the house plan. Then you left her now. He's supposed to do that work there for deliver for you. If you not do that work there for you, what you for do? You they take the contract in hand, you give other person when you know say go able for do this work here for you. When I saw politics there, politics now is social contract between the one that way they vote and the one that way they vote for. Now the one that we una the votes, the one that we una the vote for, then can come to una, then can talk to una for say, if una vote for me, now this A, B, C, D, now they do for una. You know, like now inside Sierra Leone, they can talk say, okay, we'll go make una roads them, we'll go make una get free health care, we'll go make bridge patap longer into green. You know, we'll go make una get enough food for eating at the country. We'll go make sure so we'll provide jobs for the youths in the country. You know, we'll go make the woman then get money for do business. You know, plenty promise then I didn't do. So this is not the contract this. So if them talks and they wouldn't tell when I believe in them talks and they when I take government to give them or when I vote for them, at the end of the day, when they expect them for me they're able for do waiting they be promised, then go do for una. Right? It is fair enough. I mean, if somebody comes to una tell una, I mean, it's fair enough. Me to me, it's fair as long as you, the citizen, you, the voter, una don't vote for this person. Instead, so una don't do una your work. So instead, supposed for doing your part of the job. Now, let me ask the question if not so it happen at Sierra Leone. In 2007, Sierra Leoneans una all come together. Una decide say, na APC una they vote for. So when I vote for APC overwhelmingly, APC win that election, even though some people that be the talk say not to APC win that election day. But we say we give them the benefit of the doubt. We say, you know what, now they win this election. And when they win this election, before they win the election, when they be the campaign, they make boku promises, then say they go do this, then go do that. In fact, some of we broadcast them, we be on the show that like the president where they now, Anes by Kroma. We been going to Kono, he make beaucoup promises na Kono. He tell them say, Inge for build the University of the East na Kono. Inge for give money to women in Kono for men and do business. Inge for develop the human capacity na Kono. Inge for provide jobs for the youths in Kono. Now them promises then they make. So now if na so na the promises the way Anes by Kroma be make in then turn and the way they tin up. So now you ask the question. When he made them promises then they told na Kono especially, when I been believe them and when I vote for them. So now when I ask the question after 10 years, all them promises then they will be make, if fulfill them, he able for provide jobs and for the youths in Kono, he able give money to women and for do business in Kono, he able for build the University of the East in Kono. The answer is definite no. We all know that. So for make I go the Yeri Kono people them or people of Sierra Leone generally, they still campaign for a party like a All People's Congress. It baffle me because it make they look at the Sierra Leone and say, what's wrong with we? What's make we know the land? What's make we always complain say, we country they be we country not go before, but when we don't get the opportunity for change the government, where they make they be, we know they change them. Instead, we they do all kinds of things. We they lie. Will they fabricate information? Will they disappoint with people them? Will they misinform the people them? You know, will they do all kinds of things just for make this person here where they disappoint you, where they deceive you, for let this person here look good. So these are some of the things that where they hold we back. You know, when the APC take power inside 2007, when they come power, they don't meet the country not begin no debt. I go on for say a lot of thanks and appreciation to the SLPP government, because when APC take power in Sierra Leone, they meet money when I be up about 5 billion and some leons. Now they meet now the central bank where SLPP left, so they meet money. But now you ask the question as to whether any other government with the kind of power, if now SLPP win this government with the kind of power, if they get for meet money in that bank. In fact, then they say they even go to the bank for clear the final money we don't left na the bank for clear. So if na SLPP win this government, they're not going for meet no money, right? So when I ask the question, for 10 years where APC did na power, waiting really then do for Sierra Leone, we go use as a benchmark for say, you know what, they don't do something, let us give them chance for let us continue. When they talk about this agenda of continuity, for continue for give them men and did. I don't understand that. So me from the one that they go vote for this election, this is not some of the thinking they want to get for do. The other thing when they talk about plenty inside this runoff election, when APC don't lost the election to the SLPP. SLPP they in a slight lead. The first thing when they begin for talk about now tribalism, they say how the SLPP na a tribalistic party. Me from with them, I want for level check into that message. We don't in our social media all this. All right, me from them. Of course, that's now a election message where we sent out. Of course, if you want to see the rest of that message, there now for go now youtube.com/Sherix Broadcast Network. youtube.com/Sherix Broadcast Network. Now there you go see them, right? Of course, today na election day na Sierra Leone. Of course, the dip counts now. The numbers are coming in. Of course, we serve then also we dip follow through on that. But tomorrow now we'll go able for really get a proper handle on this issue of election. Now we'll go able for really get something on them. Today, we are not too sure about the numbers that will come in, because plenty numbers that they come in, but we no guarantee the numbers when they force until tomorrow. Now we'll go able for we young people that will tally the numbers, they go able for doing something or go able for present to Nana. But what we will try for tell with family right about this time is that SLPP be done to get some endorsement, and one of the other endorsements where they been get now been a kind of an endorsement where we get some mixed messages. One, whilst with the Yeri Alhajis Abubakar Siddiqui Sumana of the Coalition for Change, when at the C4C, they refer to SLPP and APC as the two evils. In your supporters in home country, in hometown, Kono, then they vow for say na SLPP they don't declare for. They vex by APC bad, and they vex by APC because of how APC treats their young brother. But this them brother, they act like somebody where even know the value of how much if I'm with the Vexpan, the APC, right? Then they act in that way. So in essence, therefore, it's very a kind of mixed feelings where they come around, right? As a result of that. So let me listen to Alhaji Sumana and your supporters in Akono, and hearing from them as to what they think about the position where Alhaji Sumana take for say they declare for any of the two political parties, right? Let's hear that.
You want one country like that too. You know most Congo people are over there, all the big man who got Kulia. Till now, this boy begin. He got a kind of we are no blesser. Yeah? You know they play, now they play. For this man, I got more blesser more. We see for see, they say they get a propaganda machine. We are not following the line. Now let people left. They say the party go APC, what you go do there? But only molestation don't pull up at the party. They don't pull up at the party for what? They don't pull up there. Now they go and talk say the party now and this guy problem. Not to the party. And we don't go in membership card. They say not to member there. No more. What they go do there? Then 2 days in the talk soon by body power. SLPP don't need to get
Right, so that now the supporters of the Coalition for Change, when at the party this way, Sumana the head, and so for less Sumana they talk see SLPP and APC, it go choose between the two evils. I have no idea why Sam Sumana they refer to the APC, I mean SLPP as an evil. You know, because I know one day witness to say SLPP don't treat them bad. SLPP no one day make it run for in life, you know one day make you the fed, you they run away, you they go into hiding. SLPP no one day ridicule you, they not molest you, you know, they not do anything to you. So I don't know why they refer to them as an evil. But you people, they don't tell you, waiting, they go on. Well, actually, let me listen to in the Sam Sumana, waiting until FM 98.1 Radio Democracy. What did you tell them about that question, what they put onto them? Let's listen to that.
Between the D4C and the NGC will get wool for play, especially in terms of supporting one of them two parties. So, they consider Usai Unagu to una support in the runoff?
Well, you don't say the word itself. Yes, we consider.
So Usai will possibly be the Unagu link.
Well, we'll look at Uda best, the best of the two evils for we were able for lead the country.
Some people speculate saying that the All People's Congress you go link to.
We will look at the best of two evils.
Right. Well, plenty go into a runoff between the APC and the SLPP, and C4C and the NGC will get wool for play, especially in terms of supporting one of them two parties. So, they consider Usai Unagu to una support in the runoff.
Well, you don't say the word itself. Yes, we consider.
So Usai will possibly be the Unagu link.
Well, we'll look at Uda best, the best of the two evils for we were able for lead the country.
Some people speculate saying that the All People's Congress you go link to.
We will look at the best of two evils.
Right. Well, plenty go into.
All right, so that's now Alhaji Sam Sumana, you know, referring to the SLPP and the APC as the two evils, you know. So at the end of the day, end up not declare for any political party, just like how the National Grand Coalition do, right? But are the people of Kono happy with him for this decision? Are the people happy with him? Let us see that.
Sam Sumana left. You know this how them pull Luna. You know say you be there with them pull you there. We the corner them, we don't embrace you. We don't pull shameness by you. They don't call you say we fool, but yet still bad bush not there for throw you brother. We embrace you, we pull shameness by you. Now you want to turn back to them people them. Now you self they do, not what they do. Now you self they do. Because now you want to go vote though. Oh, now you want to go there. You don't go carry go there. Go there no more. You don't forget say that man are the chairman for life. And that man not let you hate you. You go there. This time around atrocities then they pull by you. Until they pull by you close. Now they go pull by you atrocities. I just they want you no more. We the C4C people, we not they follow you go there. If you dey craze, mistake go there. And you life then they pull. Yeah? You don't go compare SLPP and APC like Aki and Popo. SLPP better pass APC far away. Tell me who street SLPP don't treat you. Huh? The same way they think for the country. And the same size SLPP they think. But we don't make up with mind no. Whether you crazy, you not crazy, say you go there. Now you want go there. Who not the fella you go there? We would vote for Pauper, SLPP. We always see for C people, and most of who don't declare. We will go vote for SLPP. Yeah? A message and warning to Sam Sumana.
Alright, so that's not the message from a Kono young man, a voter, you know, talking on behalf of a cross section of people that from Kono, and they're against Sam Sumana for that decision the way he make, you know. I mean, nobody know the way go agree with him for that kind of decision where he make, you know. I mean, with everything what APC do to you, now you can't compare APC to SLPP. I mean, I don't know what the SLPP don't do this, man. Maybe they don't do something we not great talk yet, but maybe they expect them for stand tall, for be one person way they stand tall and do all kinds of things for let APC come under power because of how they treat you. But anyway, we don't know. Maybe they have put a spell on him. You know, when they can put spell per person, so he can behave. You in an intelligent person, you can behave stupid. You see, we on small brother, and I didn't talk to you, so like you know, small picking. Let me listen to that. I like that guy the way they talk to Sam Sumana. Let me listen now once more.
This is a message and warning to Sam Sumana. Sam Sumana left. You know this how them pull una. You know how you be there with them pull you there. We the corner them. We don't embrace you. We don't pull shameness by you. They don't call you say we fool, but yet still bad bush not there for throw you brother. We embrace you. We pull shameness by you. Now you want to turn back to them people them. Now you self they do. Not how we they do. Now you self they do. Because now you want to go vote though. Or now you want to go there. You not go carry go there. Go there no more. You don't forget say that man are the chairman for life. And that man not let you hate you. You go there. This time around atrocities then they pull by you. Until they pull by you close. Now they go pull by you atrocities. I just they want you no more. We this for say people who not they follow you go there. If you dey craze, mistake go there. And you life then they pull. Yeah? You don't go compare SLPP and APC like Ake Popo. SLPP better pass APC far away. Tell me who street SLPP don't treat you. Huh? The same way they think for the country. And the same size SLPP they think. But we don't make up with man. Whether you crazy, you not crazy, say you go there. Now you want go there. Who not the fella you go there? We would vote for Pauper, SLPP. We always see for people. Most of who don't declare. We will go vote for SLPP. Yeah?
All right. So that is my man right there. You know, Akilekwe people that they talk straight. No bend, no diplomacy. Talk straight. You know, because they don't tell where Sierra Leone as a country where they pan this bend business. Oh, they see reality they happen with the left out, they go and talk all that thing, they would beat around the bush. No more. Now I make quick and talk straight. So I say I'll raise up my heart to that young man for the kind way he talk, you know. He talk righteously to Alhaji Samuel Sumana, and that's what you have to do. Yeah, so you get for talk. Alhaji Samuel Sumana, they call SLPP as an evil. I mean, I don't understand. As far as the public is concerned, what we know about SLPP and you is nothing. We don't know nothing. SLPP no one they do you nothing. Why they compare SLPP to APC? This now, you know, na Panentia so they know whether than genuine with the agenda for change. And Sam Sumana don't know for say the next time where they tina for any position in that country, you go see the amount of people there where you go get. It not go close to what you get this time. You have killed your political career. Believe this or not, because we they assess situations. You know, man, we get high respect for, but by this action, you don't blunder big time. Especially when me they think about me say that me your resource where I use buy plane tickets, pay for hotel, rent a car, pay for parking lot. Now Washington DC, you know, say anytime where they park motor car around outside the state, the White House day, now that Capitol building area, they pay a lot of money, and that's where we begin the demonstration. So I was forced to park my car around there. Then after everything, you take the motor car, you go pay. Then you go pay for hotel back. Then you don't buy air ticket. We did that because we wanted to protest to protect you. For show the world for say, they not treat you fine as Sierra Leone. Then violate with constitution. Then you go come up and then can't see you can't begin to compare APC to SLPP. You know, sabi you people they say. One side will say me respect Kono people there. Kono people there, they not get permanent alliance with any political party. Then they go according to how the trend they go. You will come, you better them, they with you. You will form a party and they come up behind you. Whether now when I all born at the same place, come up behind you. Ask APC. Right? So Sam Sumana, I hope so you get me message. Either directly or indirectly, somehow you are getting it. We are very upset with you. Me particularly, Usa Sidon. And maybe I go talk to una man them. I know you man them, or I go talk to them. I'm very upset. Even if you not be one for declare for SLPP, but no, don't label SLPP as an evil. What evil has this party done to you? Oh my God, I can't believe you. And you know, plenty of people, and the way they ask this question, oh, this station, an SLPP station. This is not an SLPP station. This is a station where they talk fact. And it look like, say, the fact, they go positively in line with the SLPP. Now that make way SLPP name the cow positively. If na SLPP be there in power, it don't blunder on the people. You know, now that question they were they ask Samuel Delito. People go to bed hungry in Sierra Leone. There is so much armed robbery. Our youths are living in hopelessness and despair. They not get source of income. You know, person sick na die, don't die in the country. With all this agenda of prosperity. So we can never say anything positive about the APC. We cannot. We have to continue to say negative things about them. And then SLPP being the main opposition party, when are the two they go neck to neck now for this runoff election, we always get for say positives about them. Especially that when you look at the two records of the two political parties, you find out say between the all two, one day way anytime we come, it meet problem and it solve the problem. But the thing when people they know they look at the problems the way SLPP they meet, it solve the problem. By the time we it ready itself now for let it begin for bring in the tangibles, then it come on a power back, the APC come back, it can pull all things back. This is how things have been happening. Alright? But anyway, let's take a look at a kind of a discussion which take place in AYV TV with Sister Channel. One for telling them plenty thank you for the role that they play in the media business in the country. But let's take a look at a discussion which take place among the key spokespersons of the two political parties plus a legal mind. You know, I'm talking about Cornelius Devereux and Lahai Lawrence Lima and Solomon Jamiru as a lawyer, you know, about the legality surrounding this runoff election, right? Let's listen to them.
Because there can never be a power vacuum. So there's no way that, they can declare him invalid. He's not. Nobody has been declared president.
And this brings me. I said that it will raise a constitutional conundrum. I actually meant if you have to continue in power, there has to be justifiable circumstances. The country must be at war or some exceptional situation. But given the circumstance, let's go back. When it was time for the pronouncement for the presidential and parliamentary elections, what it is here, there was clearly a deep-seated struggle between civil society organizations, NEC, and the presidency. Why aren't we having the time declared for presidential elections? Mm-hmm. And I think Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, with the greatest respect to him, I have had the opportunity, to have discussions with him. And he calls me fellow. He calls me fellow. I was trying to ask why he would call me fellow. So I would say, fellow, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, I think he must be grateful to God. The Constitution under Section 46 says no one shall hold office for more than 2 terms of 5 years each.
Yes.
Having done 2 terms of 5 years each, Angela, I think our president must be very grateful to God. Now, if there are no justifiable circumstances for him to continue serving in that capacity, I think it's very, very respectful, and he owes a duty, not only to this constitution, but the nation as well, to have a very safe and comfortable exit.
But he can't have an exit if nobody has declared the next president.
But NEC has fixed the date for the runoff elections for the 27th. If there are no justifiable circumstances, let us allow this process.
No, but why are we then placing the blame at the doorstep of the president? He does not run, ideally. Let me just be the devil's advocate here. The judiciary is independent. He does not control the judiciary. The High Court gave a decision on a matter before it. How then does it become a President Koroma issue?
I'll tell you. Right here in the studios, you were asking Cornelius Devereux whether the applicant filed the application just on his behalf simpliciter. From all the pronouncements that Devereux has made, it is clear. You can infer from all of those statements that Ibrahim Koroma filed that application on behalf of the All People's Congress.
But the judge made his own independent
and
decision.
This is my advice.
Yes or no?
And this is my advice to our judges for playing subservient to the executive. Politicians use judges and use lawyers. Justice Mansare, once he appends his signature and he gives that order, no politician is going to take responsibility for that order. All of them are going to say it was the court that gave the order.
But if the shoe was on the other foot,
Let me just
answer this question. No, answer this question for me. If the shoe was on the other foot, and it was, because now we keep on saying this guy is APC clearly, if it was an opposition member, SLPP, who went to seek this so-called injunction, and it was actually allowed, would there be such uproar?
Let me just tell you something.
Because the judge would have been following.
Let me tell you something. In 2012, you have not been here. So sometimes when issues are raised, allow us to really explain. Now, before, like you were asking why the burden should be placed on the president, before I answer your question, let me just read this portion. The reason why we are placing the burden on the president. Let's go back to section 40, subsection 3 of the Constitution. It says, or it reads, it said, there shall be a president, I'm starting with 1. There shall be a president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, who shall be head of state, the supreme executive authority of the Republic, and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Let's come to 3. It says, the president shall be the guardian of the Constitution and the guarantor of our national independence and territorial integrity, and shall ensure respect for treaties and international agreements. This is where the burden rests upon the president to ensure that even though those institutions are independent, are supposed to live up to what the Constitution specifies to act upon. If an high court if an high court judge is not supposed to preside over a certain matter, and also not weighing the security implications as to the interest of one man, and going ahead to really pass such verdict against the backdrop that we had fought more time, the APC agenda of more time, we had fought that. Elections have been held on the 7th of March. The elections, largely or relatively, were peaceful. International organizations have given their own bill of clean health. Civil society organizations have given likewise. The APC has said they have predicted runoff in line with what civil society organizations have said. We've gone on runoff. We've taken the lead. If the APC had been in the lead, we are not going to experience all we are experiencing. Yes. So all we are saying, the burden still rests upon the president to ensure that a peaceful transfer of power is done in accordance with the law, and elections are bound to held on the 27th of March 2018, because you would realize that in fact the public itself is very much concerned as much as they are fired up for the elections. So to even change their expectations, especially on the basis of legality that is improper, of which somebody has then got the jurisdiction, and we are also, again, we are very much aware of the composition of the judiciary, where the Chief Justice sits as a card-carrying member of the APC who had contested elections in 2002 as a member of parliament under the APC, and if that is gazetted, then we begin to see the ramification, the nexus between the executive and that of the judiciary. However, they are there as an independent body, irrespective of whatever allegiance they owe to political party. They must be seen projecting the interests of the state, and must not threaten the existence of the state. That's what we are saying.
Yeah, these are very strong allegations. But anyway, let me make it very clear to viewers and listeners that inasmuch as the Constitution, gives the president the ultimate responsibility, the Constitution further guarantees the independence of the judiciary, and the Constitution also guarantees the exercise of citizens' rights. And in the exercise of a citizen's right, in a democracy, even the one man is relevant. So for people to say it is one man's interest against the majority, no. Quite a good number of people have spoken about the irregularities. They have done so through citizens. Yes.
The overall outcome?
Yes. It's very much substantial.
No. Proper evidence at the commission's meeting.
Boys, listen. Don't interrupt me.
You bring us the evidence.
Oh, we agreed no interruptions.
Are you controlling the show or what?
Sure, but if it's a discussion, if you say
are you controlling the show or what?
You're still talking. Go ahead. In my understanding, a president is still a president until a new one is elected. because there can never be a power vacuum. So there's no way that,
All right, so one for say a lot of thanks to AYV TV for doing that. But that was the discussion between them. I like them kind of discussions. Then they, the whole them kind of discussions. Then I love that. And so I feel say people that they articulate themselves. I don't need for go into that. But what I mean here is that the one side who send me one for dwell is that the president after this past Saturday we don't pass. The president not supposed to be the president of that country anymore. Maybe the speaker, the chief justice of the Supreme Court is supposed to be the caretaker president until this round of elections results come out. Because this is a clear violation of the constitution of the country, or by extension, this is the agenda for, for continuity, for let's stay in power. Well, and as by Kruma, you don't rule for 10 years, you're not going to tell God thank you, just like how Solomon did talk. You're not going to tell God thank you now for 10 years. What's in these few more days we don't let? You're not supposed to be president anymore. This Saturday we passed, you timed on down by the constitution. But anyway, that is what we have. So let me listen to more discussion from between Lahai Lawrence Lima and Cornelius DeVoe of the APC. Let me listen to more.
Dimension of the fact that perhaps one of the reasons that led to the war was the fact that the judiciary failed to uphold the rule of law. And we have a situation herein where we are building our democracy. It may not be convenient for some people who, for some reasons, want to see the exit of the APC. Fear on their side, it has to be in accordance with the law. We will not allow any dubious or nefarious engineering to root us out of power. And that is to say, considering the fact that there were irregularities, no matter the magnitude, we are growing. If in 2012 people accepted irregularities and now they say we don't want to accept irregularities, it goes to show that we are growing as a nation. And if we are growing as a nation, we must endeavor to consolidate the institutions of governance by giving preference to their decisions. If the court rules XYZ, because the court is an institution of governance, it is the third arm of government, we are all obliged to adhere by the ruling of the court. So, for people to say that they will hold His Excellency the President responsible for large-scale violence and ethnic cleansing, these are strong words.
Yes, because you have been preaching ethnic politics. When the runoff was announced, when we embarked on our policy message to the people of this country, the APC embarked on tribal message, and of which the Star TV has been publishing. All this while is tribalism you have been preaching, and violence, and perpetrating violence on our membership right across the country.
Let me tell you,
and so President Koman has been silencing all of this. President Koman has been silencing all of this.
Let me tell you,
so essentially, it is an orchestration for a scheme by the APC government
shouting on top of each other will not get us anywhere.
derail our democratic progress.
Following the death of Milton
I will tell you
Magai,
this, Cornelius.
following
Listen
the
to
death
me.
of
Listen to me. Just 1 second.
Let me just
you hold it.
Let me just step it down.
It is my show. It is very simple. When you speak above each other, our audiences there cannot listen to you. That woman, wherever she may be, in Kabbalah, in the north, in the south, wherever you're trying to communicate,
you ought to protect me. So don't allow the man to
try
interrupt
not to talk over each other.
No. You gave me the platform, and I have the right to speak.
Then let's focus on the issue at hand.
No. That we are looking at the issue at hand.
Yeah, you referenced the press release, so I have a reason to respond to it.
The press release that I referenced.
And we very meant our press release.
If you look at the history of this country, following the death of Milton Magai, it was Kande Kole Yunkela, the father of the president, who was supposed to be prime minister.
You got it wrong.
But he was actually deprived of that privilege. Sorry, not Kanda Yukela, Carry for Smart. Carry for Smart, who was supposed to be Carry for Smart. And it was deprived, and Albert Magai was made Prime Minister. And history tells us that that decision was based on tribalism. And now, let us look at the recent voting pattern. The recent voting pattern, make no mistake, Angela, except civil societies and other people want to be hypocrites and allow this country to slide down into the drains of chaos. But the voting pattern clearly tells us that it was done on the principles of regionalism and tribalism.
You know, we had this conversation last week before you come in, Lima, please. And we actually agreed. There's nothing wrong with saying I want to vote. If it's positive and somebody they want to support, there's nothing wrong with it.
The message given to the people,
I would like us to know.
When the message given to the people, was based on protecting tribal, regional legacy, and you have the people voting in that direction, it sends a warning signal that we have a political class that are intended to drive this nation.
I will give you a chance to respond.
Such a statement from the SLPP underscores that conviction by quite a good number of Sierra Leoneans.
I need to.
Thank you, Valnora.
Last time, Sierra Leone is bigger than the APC and the SLPP, and so even.
You know, me family, Cornelius, they bluff too much with that cap. Me self get that kind cap. Because now that cap, the man where they talk all this nonsense. First of all, I don't understand what Cornelius Devoe they talk about. Cornelius Devoe they talk say SLPP, not tribalistic. But I mean, I just talk with APC, suddenly they don't come up with this tribalism business. Did you see how the people voted? This is democracy. People then get freedom and rights. For me, they vote who say they want for votes. Me feel say this election way pass. This election was based on the issues. People that vote the way they vote because of the issues. You're not going to expect people in Akenema for go vote for a single APC policy. Look at the way we treat people in Akenema. For 10 years, we abandon Kenema. Right now, go work on the streets in Akenema. So dust. People then they inhale that dust. They go inside their lungs. And they turn to sickness. When rainy season can mosquito then they go breed inside them portal they wouldn't get. Now then they grab go bet the people and get malaria. Go to the Kenema government hospital. So you expect people in Akenema, Eastern Province for me to vote for you? Between Penembu and Kailan, go see the road, how deplorable it is. Motikano they able pass it. Then you talk about look out at the people that vote. What did you expect for letting the people that vote? You for the worry about the Northern Province, the way we want to marginalize some people that are the Northern Province, and the way some of them don't decide for not vote for APC anymore. That's what you should be worried about as well. But anyway, I'm glad I miss get this cap here, so you Cornelius where they do all this kind of here. So miss get that cap. But anyway, I can't believe these guys. So we see that they do now. But family, anyway, now so we get for end this broadcast today. Of course, this is Sheriff's Broadcast Network. We come to Una today from Houston, Texas. And of course, we will continue for bring camp programs into Una. Tomorrow we'll get for the Nayaso. You know, we'll get for the Nayaso again for able for, go and see actually how the results then the results then we don't come in and do some projections, and see possibly how the election they go. But before we close finally, let me just give you a video of how the law court building will look like after they don't pass, before they pass the judgment. First of all, that Judge Mansari did not get the right for judge on any elections matter. Now Supreme Court now get election matter. So now one judge down the hole for pool come out because they don't know what they do. But anyway, let's see that crowd there and see what will happen.
We want want vote. We 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 are saying
all right, so now that's not been the protest will be take place outside of the law court building before Judge Mansareddy passed in verdict for say the elections for go ahead as dictated or scheduled by the National Electoral Commission. We be say now March 27 when I last Saturday now for don't get was it last Tuesday now for don't get we runoff election. But because the National Electoral Commission not being prepared, not be don't distribute election materials them now all throughout the country, so then get for push until today. But all we are saying is the president not supposed for doing that power anymore. So Cornelius, when you did talk and you for no say now that's not the thing. For the try for blame. I mean, if you see not the try for take blame, when I for take blame for how we rule the country for 10 years. Right? I want to rule the country for 10 years. When I for take blame for that as well. Because me don't know that cap way where sometimes I didn't get the zeal for me to talk the same way. But if me wear this Mio cap, they make a talk like that, and they still talk with sense. Right? Me don't look Ben small. La Ranger, let Cornelius not laugh me. Yeah, Cornelius. I got the same cap way you get. So now let's talk if you go make sense past me. Because I see where you they talk, where they make you hate like that. And what they talk don't make sense to me. But anyway, let's see the crowd after where they don't pass the verdict. Right? Let's see that. Right, so that's the tell we say the people that be ready for votes. The people that be ready for votes, that's the tell we, after the verdict, that is how the people were demonstrating, how the people that be want the votes for take place, right? The people that be want the voting for take place. So me family, and so we get for end the program for tonight. And of course, Sheriff's Broadcast Network, we come to una today, of course, from no other place but from studio number 8 based in Houston, Texas. And of course tomorrow we'll go then also back for crack some of the numbers. We don't get a lot of news feeds in, we don't get a lot of numbers them in, so we'll go work the numbers then together for make sure say we able to get an idea as to which direction the results they go in, right? Now that's what we'll go do. And so, my family, one small minute, Ibrahim Sheriff. I come to una today from Sheriff's Broadcast Network, studio number 8. And we'll get for ender with Jungle by LXG, Nigga Don, a musical artist from Freetown, Sierra Leone. All right? So stick around with us as we end the broadcast for tonight.
jogo, make them cool and temper. Jogo, jogo.
Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo.
If you want to pull you close and throw it, I'm a pop up. It's allowed. Jerking dancing the board on the ground like a would give up. It's allowed. Give me your phone, make a come in body cause I not get up up. Not allowed. Allow me even touch you baby cause I want for the fire. Not allowed. Don't let me go. Don't let me go. Don't let me go, go, go. Don't let me go. Listen that song. When I'm up to the rose, no fence, no post. Where's the Latino? Nah, never to the Nazo. Bring it close, make a step when we close. This last time we don't need no boss. If you fat, I go just on me. No, if you tire for that, I go just gonna hold. Don't let me go, don't let me go. Don't let me go. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, make them cool and temper. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, make them cool and temper. Jogo, jogo.
Gana the middle, come on a corner. Balance up in if I watch and I under me body they tickle. Something a feather. Scatter the campaign I get the forgetter. We go party TJ. EB, uwe. Yanda we ready for booty. Angel Nancy Bellet. Hello. Angel Nancy Bellet. Love.
They say no more play get the power.
I don't know.
They say no son not get the power.
I don't know.
They say no lock boy get the power.
I don't know.
I wish that me be get the power. I for them. Bon follow me fait. Bon follow me fait. Bon follow me fait. Now me the on for like bon follow me fait. Bon follow me fait. Bon follow me fait.
Jogo, jogo. Jogo, make them cool and temper. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, jogo. Jogo, make them cool and temper. Jogo, jogo.
Now I'm going to teach you how to dance the song. Listen, now I'm going to teach you how to dance the song. When I say east, you go right. When I say west, you go left. When I say north, you go front. When I say south, you go well, now east, west, north, south.
If I become the presidency, 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 I go put everyone on my cabinet. See me see because I am intelligent. Everyone go sit down on my parliament. Olam, put up pause. Olam, Allah, cool up pause. I say Olam, put up pause. Olam, Allah, cool up pause.
Let the cool and temper.
LSG say no violence. No violence. No violence.
No violence.
No violence. No violence. No violence. No violence. No violence. No violence. No violence. No violence.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, that's Sheriff's Broadcast Network. This is how we're going to end the broadcast for tonight. Of course, Jongo, that's the track that came to you today. Of course, that's how we're going to end it tonight. Once more, Mina Ibrahim Sheriff, I want to tell you plenty thank you for everything we wanna do now. So today we want to tell you plenty thank you. Of course, tomorrow we'll go there now exclusively for come up with some updates from Freetown with regards to the elections. And the cow, the National Public Relations Officer of the SLPP, say maybe now by Tuesday or Wednesday, now we'll get the final results of the election. All right. So once more, that's how we are going to end it for tonight. I'm for telling plenty. Thank you. Good night.